for the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world. From the capital city of the United States of America, Washington, D.C., ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
Steve showed up with some Blue Moon, and as soon as I see the Blue Moon, I was like, man, if you would have told me, I would have sliced some. And he pulls, as I'm trying to finish the sentence, this man pulls out a sandwich bag with orange slices. Talk about a motherfucking Boy Scout, son. I appreciate the fuck out of you, son.
And a professional drinker.
Settle
You
down.
can't have Blue Moon without orange.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's...
But damn, it's tasty. So yeah, you kind of or asked if we had done it. We have not rated Blue Moon.
Yeah, I don't know what...
It's darn tasty. I think
it's pretty good.
I tend to not. I'm usually like a one Blue Moon if I'm out, and then switch because I think I saw the calories one time. And I was like,
Well, you
the
can
calories
taste
to alcohol percentage is pretty bad. But this is one of the tastier beers.
Well, you can taste with the Blue Moon too. It's like this is kind of like a dessert.
Oh yeah, you get.
It's a treat.
I think if you have three,
I
you
usually
might
do.
go into sleep.
I do two. Two is usually my cutoff for them. Unless I'm at a bar and there's absolutely nothing there that I want, then I'm like, look, I'm just gonna have the Blue Moons. I feel like though, if I'm at a bar and there's nothing I want, that's probably a clear sign that maybe I shouldn't be drinking. But you know me, I got a problem. So anyhow, we're back. This is episode 106, and yeah, we're gonna do the damn
106.
thing. Yeah, 106, I think. I assume it. What you got there?
In between, I got a Seagram's Escaped Spiked. The only thing that's cool about this is they have a whole bunch near like the front register of the liquor store, and they're all $1. I mean, you can't go wrong with a little $1 for a little.
What's the percentage on that again?
This one's 8%.
That's not hateful. Is it
Yeah.
delicious?
Yeah, pineapple cherry lime, and it tastes like.
You only brought
Do you
one?
have another thing I can pour some in?
Yeah. Always keep a wine mug
Oh,
around.
what you want there? So I got another one just because I know Bear likes watermelon. That one was only 3%, but I did taste it, and it was damn tasty. But for $1, like these are like, you know what I mean? Like these are like better than drinking a mini in between. That's 8%, so it's much bigger than a mini. So these, for those, obviously you guys can't see, these are smaller than a beer can, but they're not small.
It's like those 8-ounce soda cans.
Yeah.
That was really good.
$1.
$1 and it's 8%. That's delicious, dude. Which store is this?
It's the one by the 7-Eleven near my house. So
I
by
am-
that pizza place,
I'm gonna be
Waterloo.
out and about tomorrow, so I might sneak by, pick up like a bunch, and just like, yeah, I'm buying these all out, buddy.
Come play volleyball. We only have 4 people.
I gotta say- So my goddaughter finally had the baby. So we recorded last Friday. I went out to lunch with her on Saturday, and she had been in labor for the last 3 days, which is wild. Not like, because when people think about, oh, they're in labor, they're like pushing the baby out. No, you be in labor for fucking ever. So wait, it was the weekend before, I think I went to lunch with her. So last week, yeah, I get the text from her, picture of the baby, and she was born 9/20 last Saturday. So pretty excited about that. We didn't go in on Saturday, just obviously the chaos and everything. Everybody, oh, the baby's here, so everybody bum rushed the office. So we're gonna go on Sunday. I'm gonna be honest, I was a little lazy. I was feeling comfortable. I was like, ugh. Do I really want to get up? I mean, the baby's gonna be there next week, right? So we're like, oh, we'll come by the house and see the baby. Like, I don't really fuck with hospitals like that either. So we're gonna go see the baby, and then after that, we'll probably go buy out all those at the liquor store. I got to hit the comic shop. I don't think I have to. Why? Like, why was I thinking I had to go there? Maybe I don't have to go to the comic shop. Oh no, I do. I have to go look for an action figure. Because you know me, action figures. I got the cabinets. You saw those last week. I got the lights in there now too. So fucking excited. They're motion sensors. So you get close enough, the lights come on and shine down. You know, lights, camera, action figures, son. Feeling good about myself. So
I put the LED lights in our bedroom all around the ceiling.
nice. So it's all bright when you're fucking. I like it.
Oh, you
like
can turn on red.
Oh,
You can make it. You could change the dimness. The dim
red light district
red,
style,
yeah.
son. Oh my god, love it. Love to hear it. I was thinking about doing the lights
It's
around here.
I like the way it looks, and also when you turn it on white and all the way up, it kind of lights your room. Not as bright as like these lights would, but
it
it's
gives you that
consistent.
ambience.
Yeah, and it's like the same. You know, like right under this light's the brightest, but then
Yeah.
dim over there because it's all the way around the room. It's like a consistent color.
I thought about doing that down here because I was like, you know what? I want to like this side of the room. It's like when people come down, they know this is where we record, and it's clear. It's like I want to make it like because a lot of times, so when you're not here, I am recording down here. I have one ring light here, this ring light on, so the lights are on. Because without it, it's really dim. So I was like, maybe I'll do that. I don't know. Like I thought about it, but I'm also, you know me, I'm fucking lazy. I'm painfully lazy, dude.
Yeah, I had to. Well, all I had was a stool. That was annoying because I could only go as far as I could stretch, and I have to get all the way down, come back. But it was like from Amazon, and they had a one that had two 50-yard strings. So that's pretty good because you can cut it wherever you want.
Yeah.
There are things you can like splice them together, but you don't want. That's a pain in the butt.
No.
Just get that 50 and hope it fits. So I had to go in two different directions. So one made it 70% around the room. Then I came up from the other side. So I had two lines going up. But
So
it
50
worked out
feet?
50 feet each.
50
so it was
feet,
100
yeah.
total feet.
So I'd have to get two for down here.
Yeah.
I mean, which isn't terrible. So no, I might do it. I might. We'll see.
Yeah, you
what
can change whatever color.
What my lazy
there's
level
patterns.
is.
You don't want the pattern thing, like
No.
changing colors. That's too much.
No.
But yeah, like I was joking. I was like, all right, if you turn on red, you know what that means.
Oh yeah, everybody knows what red means. Turn
Like-
on red. It's go time, son.
Like there's this Ravens purple. I was like, oh, well, when you watch the games, you can turn on your purple.
You know what's fucked up?
Over here.
Purple is one of my favorite colors, and because of the Ravens, I sometimes hate purple. But it's like I can't hate the Ravens, but I can hate their fans. So
Well, like maybe they're gonna be a good squad this year. That rookie receiver was wild. He apparently he looks the part, but it was wild that he didn't know the other teams in his division. And we were just talking about that. Like, there's a
Yeah.
good percentage of football players that don't love football. Like, they're good at it. You make a lot of money. There's a lot of people that do jobs they don't like, but it pays well.
well, Ricky Williams, he didn't like football. He said he only played football because people told him he was good at it. He was like, all right, I guess. And then he played. I was like, wow. Okay. So, they exist. But, I was going to say something, but I forgot. It doesn't really matter. Like my grandma always says, if you can't remember, it wasn't important. Which is fucked up to say because I've forgotten some fucking important shit. So, Grandma, let me be honest, Grandma don't really know a lot of shit anyway. Grandma's 93. Like, is the elevator going to the top? Probably not. So, I will say this, though. My mom called last week. I think I mentioned that. And she's gotten a lot more comfortable now texting and
Oh,
calling.
yeah. My mom, like, super late in life. She, like, when I start getting texts from my mom, like, it's like weird. I'm weirded out. Like, what?
It's crazy to get texts from Bruce because Bruce be like, you can tell Bruce isn't really filling the text option, but he's trying. And it's just funny because it's like, dude, you don't have to text, just call. Like, it's fine. I know you don't want to do this. But my mom's been texting and calling. The thing that bugs me is when I get a phone call during the workday. Now, when I worked my previous job, it wasn't a big deal because I mean I had a lot of downtime, and even at this job I have a little bit of downtime, but it's still not a good look to be on the phone. So my mom calls. So, I rushed to answer because she has said, things aren't looking great for her health-wise. So I'm like, okay, let me, just be somewhat attentive. Let me try to be a good son. So I answer the phone. She cashed out me $25. It's like, and I had already seen it. I was like, did you get the money? I was like, yes, I did. And she asked me some miscellaneous, unimportant question. And I was like, yeah, well, yeah. And I didn't have to say it. She was like, okay, all right, well, go ahead, go back to work. And then that's when I was like, well, look, son, if you knew I was at work, why call? But also Sarah does that too. Like she called me. I was in training yesterday. I had my phone completely on silent. I look at it on my lunch break, and I got tons of pictures. She's out at the Target in Annapolis. Saw some action figures. Was like, do you want any of these? By the time I got back to her, she's home. So, I saw I had a missed call, just all this shit. And it's like, when did we get here, yo? Like, oh, you have a cell phone. I can just call you at any hour. Like, if I'm going to call you, I'm going to text you, like, yo, can you talk? If I don't get a response, obviously you cannot talk. If I get a response, it was like, yo, I'm going to talk to you real quick second. Make it quick, because it's during the workday. But, fucking nonsense, yo. So, I want to kind of go back to the flip phone. Kind of.
Man, those were high tech. That was when you could get onto the internet for the first time, kind of like browse everything. It wasn't perfect, but
porn on the flip phone was a little weird. Like pixelated nipples, just fucking weird. But
you're pixelated on the.
It gets you through in a pinch though.
I did like the feel of the Razor. That was like a solid phone. I like the little flipping action. It was weird because remember how used to you get with the texting of doing the number thing. Mm-hmm. It was kind of weird to switch to like the keyboard. The only thing I don't like about these touchscreens is I have a hard time. Like almost every time, like for example, when I write the beer reviews, I'm like, what the fuck? I'm hitting keys left and right. So they're just something I'm just not hitting it.
Do you use the swipe motion or you type?
I type.
So I'm kind of a blend of both. I typically will swipe, but I will type if it's short. Like if it's a short message, I'll type. But if it's a long message, I'll swipe. It's, I would say, 80% accurate. It does pretty well. But there are times where my autocorrect has figured me out now. Now when I do try to write duck, it writes fuck. So
Instagram doesn't do the autocorrect.
So Instagram, the Michael Jordan post that I put up, and the caption said, "Shut up, you little bitch," but it was altered, so it didn't say bitch. As I'm about to post it, I got a warning from Instagram. Are you sure you want to do this? Because this caption has been reported. So I changed it a little bit more, and it didn't say anything. And I was waiting to see it got pulled. It didn't. So I was like, okay, I changed just enough letters for them not to flag it. Like instantly, Zuckerberg.
So you're not supposed to cuss, and
but you're selling my data. But I can't cuss. Okay. That's weird, but okay, I guess I get it.
The GOAT said it. We're just reporting what he said.
We're just reporting the news. Fuck.
When I sent that out to a few people, but I showed Bea that clip, and she was like, because she missed the Jordan error, and I'm just like trying to explain to her.
She was a baby.
I'm trying to explain to her, I was like, why our age tends to hate LeBron is because there's no comparison.
You know what's funny is for me personally, I don't know that I necessarily hate LeBron. I hate the LeBron dick riders. It's the same thing as the Ravens.
I'm going for the Lakers right now because that was my bet from the beginning of the playoffs. And it'll be a decent payout if they can both Heat versus Lakers. I think I just looked at it. It would be like $700 if it's
nice.
And it's separate. No, there is one combined bet of it being both of them. But I would win if either one of them make it something. But altogether, it was like $700.
Is something full or did you just move?
I think I just moved.
All right, because when I rearranged everything, I've had a lot of figures falling because the new adjustments. So they've been just toppling over left and right. That fucking Thor figure inside the cabinet there, that motherfucker, because he has the hammer, the spin motion, so it's heavy on one side. So every time I stand it up, this motherfucker just tilts over like fucking Fred Flintstone in the fucking car. So I had to like lean him back. It fucking looks goofy. I don't know. Oh, so here's a unrelated fucking thing. So I ordered a 3-pack of action figures off Amazon. And I got the box. And I'm looking at this motherfucker. I was like, something feels funky about this. Because the way that they sell these figures now, they used to sell them in a box where you had like the plastic window and you could see the figure. Seems perfect to me. They decided we're going to just do a full like box enclosed. You can't see inside of it. Everyone was like, nope, that's a problem. Because what happens at Target, even when you can see the figure, Target employees don't know. So I can go buy a figure, put one of these shitty figures that I don't want back in the container, go get my money back. And somebody goes in to buy Cyclops, excuse me, and they end up getting fucking Mystique from the movies. And they're like, this isn't what I wanted. Too late, I got my money, bitch. So, and that's with the window. Now, without the window, you know it's going to happen. So I ordered from Amazon. I'm looking at my box, and it's fine, but it doesn't feel fine. So I pull out one figure. Everything seems good. All the accessories are there. I pull out the second figure. All the accessories are there. Everything's good. Now, they're wrapped in this like white paper, so you can't see them until you take them out. So I get to the third figure. I was like, it doesn't seem right. I open it up, and the fucking figure's without a head. So I get an email from Amazon saying, how's the delivery? How's the package? Da, da, da. Almost kind of like they knew. So I was like, and, then it gives you options. If there's a complaint, reach out to Marvel. Not correct. Because Marvel, they license out the characters. They don't make the toys. So I go to Hasbro. I say, hey, man. And I send pictures and everything. I got this figure without a head. I just want a replacement head. That's all I want. I'm not asking for much. I just want a replacement. They email me back like, look, we don't make replacement parts. Sorry. Well, for that figure at least. They're like, but what we can do is we can either give you a full refund, exchange. You send the figures back, we'll give your money back. Or we'll send you a random figure, based on, the warehouse inventory. I was like, okay, cool, whatever. I'll take the random figure. Hoping, my fingers are crossed for this one specific figure. Because I didn't want to go pay $20 for it anyway. So I'm not going to buy her. I would only get it if they sent it to me. So I get home today. So I was like, oh, you got a box. I forgot all about this shit. So I open the box. And it's this Iron Man with like a plasma cannon. It looks ridiculous. Like it's a cool figure, but it looks ridiculous. I sent pictures to people. They're like, oh my God, you got that? I was like, I didn't want it. So then I went to eBay. I was like, how much is this going for? Now this is in store. It's $30. If you're able to get it in store. eBay is going for like $150. So I was like, I have it in box. And the only issue is I'm lazy. I don't want to mail shit off, dude. Told you I'm painfully
That's how I feel
lazy.
about eBay. Gotta do that part.
Yeah, man. Like, can I give this to somebody and have them do it for me? Because they're not in. But either way, excited news. I got my action figure. I might keep it. I might put it on display. I have I have like 7 Iron Man figures in this basement. So it's like, do I need another? Probably not. I have a whole shelf of Wolverine figures. Do I need another? Yes, I do. Tons of Cyclops. So I need another? Probably not. So the point is I got a lot of shit down here that I don't need.
Hey, one day, yeah, maybe someone will help you. Like, you never know how much money everything would be.
Oh, no, I know a lot of these are worth money. Like, like that cabinet over there, the one that you and Neps helped me bring downstairs. That top shelf up there, all those figures, like, you can't get those again. Like, they make remakes of them, but they're like altered just a little bit. So that whole top shelf up there alone is like probably $800 to $1,200.
I think I saved a box of some sports cards. It's funny, recently when you said that, something similar is like it came up on Instagram. An artist.
Hold on.
Oh, hi Sophie.
Hey, go on. All right, sorry about that, y'all. Had to say goodnight to my kid. I thought I heard something, so that's why as you were talking, I'm like looking in the mirror because I was like, if I see movement, I know someone's here. But anyhow, I'm sorry, we cut you off. You were talking about something.
Oh, yeah. So
Cards.
I came up on Instagram. I happened to notice, I guess, an artist who's famous for drawing lots of 90s concert posters and memorabilia. But he was like, basically, it was like one of those things of like, if you were an artist in the 90s, it was a big deal to get something done by that guy. So he passed away last week. And in his art, I didn't realize is technically where my tattoo came from. So he drew this, and I didn't.
Your arm's not worth shit, Steve. Relax.
No, I have where it came from is this banner that I have. That's selling for on eBay for $800 right now since he's died. Like I was like, God damn. And I saw tons of comments like when they showed that image, they were like, I've been looking for this everywhere. And I was like, I got it. It was pretty easy, but I got it a long time ago. But it was on eBay, like with the early years of eBay.
Well, it's funny when people are like, I've been looking for that, and you're like, I got it a long time ago. It's like, yeah, I was looking for it a long time ago.
It's in great condition, but it does have like one tack hole, thumbtack hole in each corner because it's like a fabric. And but yeah, it was $800. I kind of want to keep it, but $800.
I mean, but it might go up though.
I know.
So it's almost kind of like you got to figure out when's the right time.
Yeah. So as of now, I would keep it.
Do you need to buy crack anytime soon? Because if you need to buy some crack, sell now. But if you can wait on the crack, wait for 6 months, see what it's doing. If it's not moving, go get you some crack. I mean, crack is cheap, but it's still, you don't want to spend your own money on crack. I don't.
But looking at that guy's art, he has a definite style to him. He liked using these like fluorescent colors with like, I mean, he was a good artist, but it was like everyone. It was mostly grunge bands and a few hip hop acts. But yeah, you never know what's worth money.
Yeah, I mean,
and when they die, things tend to go up.
So like, what's the other dude, Gary V? Like that's his whole thing. He goes garage sales, buys mugs from people for like $0.25, goes to eBay, and it's like, oh shit, I could flip this for $20. I was like, I mean, yeah, do it if you can. I mean, that was with storage auctions, when we used to do them live in the office. These motherfuckers would come through. You find some characters, but they started doing them online, but you still get those characters coming through and just. I had one guy, he was so excited. He bought this one unit for, $700? All empty boxes. And the fucked up thing is the person whose unit it was, she yelled at me because she didn't update her information. She goes, well, you know what you guys should probably do? Every few months go and check and make sure everyone's info is up to date. And I said, so I was like, man, we have 853 tenants or units here, and we have other tasks that we take care of. I'm not spending time hunting you down. You're an adult. If you have a bill that's on auto pay and you notice the next month, I still got an extra $250 in my account. You should probably go check, make sure your shit's all right. Sarah had to switch her card out recently. And now we're playing that game. Like when the internet goes off, it's like, oops, guess we better pay that. And was it Disney Plus the other day went out? I'm like fucking watching X-Men. I was like, what the fuck? So I hopped on there. Then I got an email like the next day from Netflix. Like, yeah, your bill or your card needs to be updated. And I was like, no, it doesn't. I don't want you anyway, bitch. But my kid still watches it. I think I'm gonna switch it to the cheapest plan. I think it's like $7.99 because she's the only one who's watching it. We don't share our Netflix account with anyone. Like we share other accounts, but Netflix for some reason, I think they made it harder to do that anyway. Some bullshit. I don't know. So I don't know, man.
Yeah, the subscription thing's wow. It's like I got Hulu free with Spotify. So Spotify is one of the few things I do have a subscription for. I think Brett and Bea both have Netflix. I think Bea's is through a cousin, which a lot of people do.
Yeah.
What is it? HBO Max I got free for AT&T. Like, you got to choose one premium service. Okay, HBO Max. Which they tried to make it a pain in the ass one time to, like, when it logged me out when I, like, got a new phone. It's like, I had to basically call customer service to get that shit back on. I was like, what changed? All I did was get a new phone. Y'all trying to... We don't offer it anymore. It's like, yeah, but I didn't cancel it.
Yeah, you fixed my shit, bitch.
That same thing happened with Hulu at one point. They're like, we no longer offer it with Spotify. But I was like, but I didn't never cancel my Spotify. So what happened with Spotify is my card changed. Mm-hmm. But I was like, but I paid it. When you guys sent me the notice, I paid for it. So I never technically lost my subscription. So give me back my Hulu. I don't watch it, but actually, I think White Man Can't Jump just got released on Hulu.
Today.
I'm going to have to watch that.
So I might check it out tonight.
I'm going to watch it.
I don't
it
want
looked a
to,
little better than the
I think
next one.
Try.
It's just, there were some things I felt like it was trying too hard to be like the first. Like they're almost saying the exact same thing. I don't like when they do the exact same script, but I think it's going to be different enough. I don't think it's going to be as good as the first one.
But that's the thing, though. Why call it White Man Can't Jump? Just call it something different, then. You know, like Point Break when they
White Man Still Can't Jump.
Like when they rebooted or remade, not rebooted. When they remade Point Break, they could have called that shit anything but Point Break, and it probably would have fucking done great numbers in the box office. But you call it Point Break, and people are like comparing it to the original classic, you know, Keanu Reeves, Gary Busey, Patrick Swayze, Lori Petty, Anthony Kiedis. Come on, son, those acting chops, dog.
Oh yeah, the Red Hot Chili Peppers were in a lot of movies around that time. Flea would just be in random movies all the time.
He just be showing up places.
I think is that Flea?
I think Flea was that dude who would just show up somewhere, and they're like, "Hey, what are you doing today?" Nothing really. I was going to go shopping. Hey, you want to be in a movie? I guess.
Henry Rollins was too. Was
yeah,
like
Henry Rollins.
Random movies, like super small parts.
Yeah.
He was in something. Was it Heat? Maybe something. A real small role, and I was like, "Yeah, that's Henry Rollins."
So the other night we're flipping through because I don't remember what we watched, but I'm flipping through Prime, and Judgment Night comes up, and every time I see it, I always have to explain to Sarah, "This is an awful movie," and they don't show you a trailer; they just show you a scene where Cuban Gooding Jr. Sr. is meeting up with Charlie Sheen's brother or Martin Sheen's son.
Emilio.
Fuck him. The Mighty Ducks guy.
So it has a decent cast for that time.
Yeah, for the time, for sure. It's like, I think
Jeremy Pivens, Emilio, Cuba Gooding Jr., Dennis Leary.
I genuinely dislike Jeremy Piven for some reason, but I like him in The Goods. But I think when I watch The Goods, it's like, that's you, though. You're just being you.
He kind of plays like a Weasley character a lot.
Yeah, I think that's why I don't like him. Although I saw him, he was doing stand-up. He was bitching about something. And it's like, you're just a crybaby. Shut up. Like, you're an entitled bitch. Shut up. But, like, when we stopped by, we watched the scene. And I was like, God, it's so bad, but I want to watch it. I just want to watch it.
It's not a bad watch. It's a bad movie.
It's a bad movie.
Legendary soundtrack. Like that soundtrack still gets talked about today. Of like people saying it's one of their favorite soundtracks.
Well, they did like the little the '90s soundtrack draft on TikTok, and that was the number 3 pick. Like they're like, so this is a sleeper. And no one's, you guys are going to hate it once I say it because you're going to be mad you didn't remember it. And he says Judgment Night. And everyone's like, fuck.
Yeah, because
we missed it.
So, yeah, that's the soundtrack. And it was actually supposedly Everlast's idea. And he said he should have got the executive producer credit, which he was in the movie. So they asked him, what should we do for the soundtrack? And it was his idea, like, let's pair a rock band and a rap group and you make a song. And the good thing about it was they weren't remaking someone else's song. Like
No.
Run DMC and Aerosmith, they just used the Aerosmith riff. Like it was a big thing is like they were supposed to work together. So it was all original songs, but it was like, was it Onyx and Biohazard? That was a good combo. It was Helmet and House of Pain. That Judgment Night song was one of the best rock songs. Cypress Hill and Pearl Jam. Cypress Hill and someone else. Oh, what's that group? Sonic Youth. The Mary Jane song. That was a good song. Sir Mix-a-Lot and somebody.
I always forget about him.
He was not a bad rapper.
It's just he had that
blow up for that
one song, and nobody remembers anything else. So you know the one song by the Pussycat Dolls, "Don't You?" It's like, "Don't you wish your girlfriend was hot?" Like, what? I just used it on Instagram. Swaz. Don't you wish your boyfriend was swaz like me? That's and I was like, oh my god, I'm using this.
He had that Posse on Broadway song where the
It
Posse
sucks.
on Broadway.
But then Baby Got Back.
Oh, and he had those drums with those 808s.
And everybody just forgets them. Everyone's like, oh, the Baby Got Back guy? Yeah. You know he's got other songs, right? Like, he does? Yeah, he does. Motherfuckers. But
De La had a good song.
What's that?
I'm just trying, just popping in my head. De La and somebody had a good song.
There was a few years back. This is like, I want to say the early Facebook days. I don't know how I stumbled upon it. I'm sure everybody knew about it, but I feel like I stumbled upon a treasure. Like, De La Soul, like, made all their library available for free download. So I took it. I was like, yes. And crammed it all onto the hard drive that's now dead. But I was like, oh my god, I got all this fucking gold.
Recently had a beef with, because their label was Tommy Boy, which some of the artists I liked were on Tommy Boy. So they were like supporting De La. That's how I saw it. Something was happening where De La wasn't getting paid royalties or something. So there was a point like people were, and then their like songs got taken away from all the streaming services for a while. Like there was nothing on De La.
That's been happening a lot.
I think they
lately
worked it out. I think what it was Tommy Boy was getting a lot of money from their songs, and they weren't getting much at all. So they reworked it. I think they did the right thing in the end, but I could be wrong.
That
Rest
was
in peace. Which one was that? The DJ?
Yeah. No.
Dave?
No.
No, the second MC.
Yeah.
That
was something that's been happening with quite a few artists though. Like the last 3 years, you just
I believe Mos Def's not on any streaming. Like
he might be back. No, he's back because I was just listening to Mos Def the other day for sure on Amazon Music. So like this week, as a matter of fact,
I think he was. I remember him being not happy about streaming, like thinking the artist should get more money. But I was like, you got to look at it the long term because all this little money though, it adds up. It's a lot of money because you're not gonna sell CDs anymore though.
That's true. I think. Well, what do they get paid per stream? Do you know? Well, I guess it varies per artist.
It varies, obviously. And I think it's not a ton, but it adds up. Like over a long period of time, where your CD sales probably wouldn't.
I'm gonna let you know right now. I'm keeping Kanye paid because I be on Amazon Music. I just saw when I get in a mood.
I saw an article today that The Weeknd changed his name to his real name
to Tuesday.
He said he's done with being. He did all he could with The Weeknd, so he's ready for the next phase. I was like, was The Weeknd a character?
The Holiday?
It was a wild name. But apparently he's the most streamed artist by a lot. And
that makes sense.
Who is second? And I don't particularly like her, but what's her name? I keep thinking Millie. It's not Millie. The Billy Ray Cyrus daughter.
Oh, Miley.
Miley. Yeah, it was. I was thinking Miley.
You know what's funny? Like,
mixing her name up.
Was it it might have been at work. Yeah. Well, my last job, I'd be walking hallways in whatever station they have on, you couldn't go more than 4 songs without hearing a fucking Miley Cyrus song.
So yeah, in this article, she was number 2, which that surprised me. But it was by like The Weeknd is way ahead of her, like 30 million, I think.
I can see that. I mean, he's
his real name is a unique name. Like I don't even remember. Like
well, he's like
it's nothing I've ever heard before.
I think he's like part like I think his dad's Ethiopian.
Yeah,
something like that. So you know how they do over in Ethiopia. They be getting wild names. They ain't got no food, but they got wild names. You're like those Sally Strother commercials. If you donate a penny a day,
a wise decision because no one's gonna be able to say his name. They're still gonna call him The Weeknd.
Yeah.
Like, nah, you're The Weeknd.
It's just like Prince. I'm gonna make my name the symbol. Yeah, but we're gonna call you Prince.
But yeah, his was impossible. Like, what was it's the symbol?
Well, they just call him the artist formerly known as Prince.
Yeah, that shit was wild.
No, it's still Prince. Believe me, it is. The music still sounds Prince-ish. So, dude, we've been going 35 minutes without reviewing this beer.
But yeah, Most Def is on Spotify now. So I guess he was probably realized, like, oh, I'm not going to make any money if I keep boycotting.
Well, that's the thing, too, when artists are like, you have to be like in Most Def is our era. So him having a beef like that can only go so far. Versus if, like, Taylor Swift or Beyonce or The Weeknd or Miley, and you don't like, fuck this. Then they're like, okay, maybe we're going to listen because these are current artists that are huge right now.
So I think the streaming it's a double-edged sword. They don't make as much up front like they used to. Like when your album comes out and you make this huge amount of money, but you're making money forever because no one's buying.
I guess
the CD sales would drop off dramatically 10 years later, but these streamings, like it's continuous, like mailbox money over and over and over.
Well, that's kind of
and there's tons of streaming platforms.
That's the argument I always have about movies. When they come out that opening weekend, they're like, oh, they did this big number. And then there's this huge drop off the next week. It's like, well, because they fucking did a massive number the first week. Like, of course there's going to be a drop off, you cocksucker. So, yeah, I mean, it makes sense with CDs in that same regard, where it's like, oh, they're going to make a huge killing, that first, like, week, first month, first year. But, yeah, that down the line, it will drop off. So, it makes sense. Shout out to Alanis Morissette. She was behind it all in the beginning. Everybody, all the artists was like, fuck this, and Alanis Morissette was like, no, I like the ideal of MP3 players and Napster and all this shit.
Yeah, who was they did that Napster tour? I know it was Limp Bizkit and somebody. Was it? Because Metallica was against
Metallica. Dude, fuck Metallica.
Who was the Napster tour? Because they were ahead of their time. They knew what was coming. I want to say it was Limp Bizkit and somebody.
There were. And it
was called like the Napster.
There were quite a few artists that were on board with the ideal of Napster because they knew music was going digital. So we need to find a way to fucking make this work. I know for the longest time the Beatles wasn't on iTunes because for whatever reason. And then there was someone else that wasn't on like Apple.
Oh, it was actually Limp Bizkit and Cypress Hill, and then that tour was free.
As it should be.
But then they saw, like, we're going to make that money back. Or in the merchandise. Artists nowadays, I think merchandise is a big part. Like when you tour, they make money on the show, but they make a lot more money on the merchandise.
I think I'm about to do, because I went to jiu-jitsu today and wore my Detroit versus everybody shirt. And then my teammate was like, oh, I thought that was a BJJ Wiki shirt. I was like, all right, I'll make it. BJJ Wiki versus everyone. I'm down. I might get sued. But what they going to get from me? $30? Fuck y'all. All right, let's do this beer.
All right, so our first beer, Blue Moon. And no, our beers today are either white or black. Yo, I ate the part of my orange peel. I was kind of like, it's not as bad as you think.
It is, dude. Don't front. It's horrible.
People eat, though. Yo, I just saw a video of people frying a banana peel, saying it tastes like bacon.
They're lying, but
the people that tried it, they're like, "This doesn't taste like bacon, but it tastes amazing." All right,
I won't be
Blue Moon Belgian white. So here's our white, by Blue Moon Brewing Company. I did see they had another beer that I'd never seen come out. So it was an 8%er, along the same lines. Like, it was called Hazy, which we've liked a lot of the hazy style beers. So this is a wit beer, Blanche. Which I remember it was a. Yeah, we need to definitely get the orange peels out for the next beer.
Yeah.
I don't think they will match at all. But yeah, so it's a Belgian white wheat ale spiced with fresh coriander and orange peel for a unique, complex taste and uncommonly smooth finish. So for beers like for example, Bud Light Lime, I don't particularly love that. This one I feel like it has a nice orange taste. It is incredibly smooth.
Yeah.
On the downside, it's pretty heavy.
Yeah.
It's not. It's thick.
Um,
Tastes like orange juice and beer.
so I don't honestly ever taste the orange in it. Maybe because I'm not. I just throw it in. I don't like squeeze the juice in or anything. I just say, "Here's an orange."
I definitely get a heavy orange peel taste with it, but it's
I
like
do
a
not.
pleasant taste. But it is incredibly smooth. Like
Yeah, that's
whenever
a
I have
fact.
a Blue Moon, you drink it way faster than you're expecting. Like, oh shit, I'm done. But hard to. We talked about it beforehand. Hard to drink multiple ones of these because it's so filling.
Yeah, this is for sure at
And-
max 2 for me.
5.4%.
5.4. That's fine. It's a party beer. So as far as party beers go, though, because we got to rate it differently.
Just start with it. It's a good
Yeah.
starting beer.
It's a great starting beer, actually. So if I'm rating this as a party beer, okay. So refresh my memory on party beers.
Pretty sure Miller Lite was like the standard was a 6.8.
That's a 6.8. No, I'm putting this above easily.
I
Wait.
think actually one of our highest party beers, and I think this will beat it, but it was San Miguel.
I remember it was delicious. I don't remember the numbers.
It was a 7, but yeah, low
Yeah,
7.
well, this is up there for me. It's above. I'm going 7.4 with this. I enjoyed it a lot. Even though I could only drink 1 or 2, I would not pass this up, and I would buy it and have it in the fridge. I just wouldn't be getting fucked up
Taste-wise,
off of
I'm
it.
trying to be fair and rate it on its own. Like, it's a great tasting beer. 7.5. I'm going 7.5. But yeah, it's same thing as like, but I don't know how many I can drink.
Yeah.
So that's going to hurt it a little.
Yeah.
5.4%
If it wasn't so heavy-
is fine.
If it wasn't so heavy, this is an easy like 7, close to 8 for me, just because it is really good. It's like it's good and it's filling in that sense of like when I'm drinking it, I know that I'm drinking a beer versus if I'm drinking like a Miller Lite. It's like I'm drinking a beer, but it's like,
And for this style, I mean, Corona and lime go together extremely well.
Yes.
Blue Moon and an orange go extremely well together.
Yes. They knew what they were doing. They figured it out. They cracked the code. I actually to bring this wine now. I haven't cracked this wine just yet, and I feel like an asshole. We were recording yesterday. We recorded So You Like Horror number 35. We were talking about horror movies of the 70s. And my guest, he came over, we sat down. They're like, it's midday. They're like, you got any? I was like, you guys want anything to drink, water, anything? They was like, you got any wine? I was like, absolutely. Of course I have wine. It's in a box. And they're like, well, we'll only have wine if you have a glass with us. I was like, say less. I was like, hold on. I went and got the box, brought out the coffee mugs. I was like, let's do it. As I'm watching you drink coffee in front of me, that looks horrible.
It's not bad. This is
It looks horrible.
It's not as bad as you think. It's
It
not
looks horrible.
coffee. It's a
Doesn't-
black.
Doesn't smell bad.
I would say more not coffee.
I'm gonna. Oh, it
For
looks
a-
like Beverly
For a dark
Hillbillies.
beer, it's pretty good.
There's still a swig in there. This looks like the Beverly Hillbillies.
Yeah, we found some oil. Yeah, well, I told you we got. I mean, Blue Moon's considered a white ale.
Racist, but okay.
I don't know why it's called white though.
Yeah, it's not white,
White
at
people
all.
like oranges. I don't know.
Well, it's like at a pub dog. The
The white is
dog.
always orangey or
Yeah, it's basically Blue Moon.
peel. Yeah. Oh yeah, we went to Pub Dog not too long ago, and Pub Dog's beers are so crushable.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's why they give them to you in those little mugs too. So, I don't know. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not crazy about this. I can finish
Well,
it.
it's a weird
I'm not crazy about it though.
beer after Blue Moon.
Yeah. Well,
It might grow on you.
we should have opened with
But it's
this.
a very well. That's what I wanted to, but I want to take advantage of the oranges and the cold glass.
Well, we got other cold glasses, dickhead.
Yeah, but we don't like to get up.
Where's fucking Brett?
Yeah, he said he needed to chill today.
From all the heavy drinking he's been doing all week. Fuck out of here. Like Brett, listen. I'm gonna text this to him. Just text this episode to him. I'm gonna text this sound. Brett, get off your ass. Get over here and get our
Yes.
glasses for us.
I believe we're gonna try to play volleyball tomorrow. That's not till 1, so there's, we can sleep in.
Okay, buddy. Okay.
As of now, we only have 4 people committed to
What are these
volleyball.
buttons? That's for Brett. Fuck off.
When you created Stadium in NBA 2K in the past, you could like add the sounds, and that's one of the sounds you could make, like if someone, but you could put it wherever. I mean, you could put it if you make a 3-pointer and it does that, and then it'll make sense. I think I mentioned I got briefly banned from 2K because I used the La Coca Nostra with the guns. I made the Baltimore Bullets, but took just one side, so it was just the skull face, the slanted hat, and the gun. And somehow the imagery got me banned from 2K. They're like, we don't condone violence. But I was like, no, John Morant. Yeah.
I was like,
I
so
think
is Ja still on the game?
I think this is true to the NBA.
Segue. So, like, come on, dude. So there was one point that was brought up. There were a couple points brought up. And, one of the bigger points was like he wasn't doing anything illegal technically. But the thing is, this is a business. And there's an image that goes with the business.
That's the thing. People aren't really like the people defending him. It's funny because it's just like and Charles Barkley, I feel like, said it best. Of just like, you make hundreds of millions of dollars. What comes with that? You're a role model, whether you like it or not.
Yeah. I mean,
Like,
he of all people.
You're representing the NBA, so
he had to deal with that.
do you want to? If you want to do whatever you want, don't get paid the hundreds of millions of dollars. But it's just like being a celebrity. There is a responsibility to it. Maybe you feel like there shouldn't be, but the league has the right to be like, nah, you're not representing us how we want to be represented. So we're going to, who knows? They could ban him at one point if he keeps doing it. And
It would
they
be
have the right to.
their decision because it's
Yeah.
their league. Well, I mean, that's the thing. That's the beauty of doing something like this podcast. We aren't being like held by any corporation. We can say whatever we want. I try to tone it down a little bit, but we can say whatever we want. We're not role models. We're not millionaires. We're not making a bunch of money.
Yeah.
But the thing is, when, like, let's say Ja made a podcast and he's dropping the R word and F word and just all these horrible things, and it's like, yeah, probably not a good look for you, Chief.
Yeah,
But we
I
can do
mean,
it. So let's go ahead and say all the worst words.
Yeah, I mean, if one day we're getting paid hundreds of $1 million and we're not allowed to say this stuff, we probably won't say it.
Well, yeah. Well, that's the thing, though. Joe Rogan got a $100 million contract. He was dropping the N-bomb left and right.
Yeah, he got over the backlash. People were like, "What are we supposed to listen to?"
But that's the thing, though. Again, and the thing is about that, though, he did apologize. And again, if you go back and listen to the episodes with the context to it, it's not like he could have easily avoided saying it for sure. But he wasn't saying it in a malicious way to be hurtful or anything.
Yeah, and again, we talk about it all the time. Let people change and apologize, and also times were truly different.
Also, I mean, in
And things we said, like in terms of like definitely like homophobic slurs in the friggin' late 80s and 90s were like
even the
in
mid
every single
2000s,
song.
dude. Like the mid 2000s, or like even that, like fucking 6 years ago.
Yeah, like literally every single rapper would be canceled.
Yeah. So, well, and that's something we talked about when I recorded yesterday. Talk about horror movies from the 70s. It's like when people try to hold movies of yesterday to today's standards, it's like, why? Like, just don't fucking watch it. Like, instead of going back and bitching about it. Like, I remember seeing this article about American Pie. And these people are bitching about American Pie. Is American Pie a good movie? Absolutely not. It's kind of trash. Was it funny at the time? Yeah, at the time. When I go back and watch it now, do I think it's funny? I'm grown up now. I don't think it's funny. Like, because there's a lot of shit when you start really looking back on it. Like, you know, Shannon Elizabeth, you know, the foreign exchange student being naked, and their video, you know, they're putting it on streaming on the internet. That's a crime. That's a big crime, dude. You're going to prison.
Yeah, but back then that was the best part of the movie. It's funny is how little speaking she had, and she never really had any great roles.
No, but I mean that's the thing too. It's like she kind
Whoever
of
that director was.
she kind of disappeared. Like she was in a few things here and there. She was in 13 Ghosts. She was in Jane Silent Bob Strike Back. She was in Jane Silent Bob Reboot.
A lot of movies back in the day where it just has these nude scenes that are completely unnecessary. And I'm like, is it the director? Is it because it sells more? Like, oh, we have this scene. Because back then, where porn wasn't on your internet, like, probably it did help sales.
Well,
That,
yeah.
like, oh,
So
and so's topless in this movie. Oh,
I remember getting into a back and forth on Facebook. You know, back when I used to argue on the internet with one of your old neighbors, the one with the glasses. I actually ended up blocking him.
there's only one that you're gonna argue with.
Yeah, like all the other ones, like I like them. And then there's that
They're
one.
wild.
But like this dude, like so I got an issue of Playboy with Olivia Munn in it. She just did an interview, but she was on the cover, and she signed it. And I posted about it. I was like, oh, you know, I'm excited. I got this. Olivia Munn signed it. You know, I'm a big fan. Or I was a fan. I think she's kind of a bitch now. I think she was dating Aaron Rodgers too, and it's like, you just can't come back from that. But from what I understand, she's kind of a cunt. And that sucks because when she was on Attack of the Show on G4, she was that chick. She was super cool, and she was hot. So it was like, oh my god, like you're cool and hot, and she was like a legit nerd. It wasn't like, you know, she's, you know, like there's a lot of chicks now. They're like, I'm a nerd too. Like I love sci-fi. It's like, okay, bitch. But that motherfucker just fell off the shelf. He just took a nosedive, one of my figures. Like, he legit said, fuck Olivia Munn, and jumped off the fucking edge. But when I posted the picture about it, he goes and comment, yeah, she's not naked, though, so it sucks. I was like, okay, have you never seen titties before? He was like, no, but, I mean, the point is she's not naked. I mean, and, you know, it's no good if she's not naked. And I was like, and again, I went back to like, so you probably have never seen a woman naked before. Because I'm going to let you know, she's like very skinny and frail. She's cute, but I would imagine her body's not that impressive. So I don't need to see her naked. Yeah, but she's not naked, so it's not that important. I was like, okay, we're going to go ahead and end this conversation now. Because this is going nowhere.
People, yeah. It's funny, like that era of like, there was no internet, so like Playboy hustlers would be
Maxim. I mean,
Maxim was like the PG. What they pushed the limit, but there was no nudity.
Yeah,
but you could at least not be embarrassed.
It got close.
Store. Yeah, you can go to the store and feel like, oh, I'm getting this for articles, and it was kind of acceptable.
They actually did have good articles.
If you bought a porn magazine, you're like, you get judged.
I remember when I turned 18.
Depending where you are,
I went up to the newsstand up at Orm Brown.
Oh, I forgot about that place.
And I went to buy Playboy.
They had their whole little adult section. It's like things were in front of the magazine.
I went to buy Playboy. I mean, imagine, and DJ's mom worked there. She was like, absolutely not.
Yeah, it's wild that because that newsstand, like it had like a children's section right next to the adult section. Like, it was creepy.
I mean, I used to buy my comics there for a while. So, I mean, and then on the other side of it was
Dante
the Playboy.
Stack, 2 comics on the top, 2 on the bottom, and there's Playboy in the middle.
I tried.
Actually, Playboy, though, was like the worst one.
Yeah, Playboy was trash. Like, super trash. But I tried.
American Pie explained it well. This one focuses on this. And Hustler, on the other hand, tends to focus on this area.
But yeah, I mean, Hustler, Penthouse, they
They
went
took
in.
it to the extreme.
Swank.
They started that whole pose.
They went in literally. It was like, oh my god, that's the inside of a vagina.
Yeah, I don't know if I told it on here, but I have the worst, not the worst, autographed Playboy. And it's weird because my dad got it for me. But I have an autographed Playboy from China.
I mean, you know.
If you see the inside, it's not anything you want to see necessarily. I mean, it looks like a dude with boobs.
I mean, she's dead, so it might be worth some money.
Yeah, that's also. I just when we were talking about like things worth money, I was like, is it worth money now though?
It's like you got a lot of shit by
But yeah, I
dead
guess
people,
she
dude.
like signed. I think she was in Laurel. And
I was
did
gonna say,
some
wasn't
kind of
that like
signing.
in person?
Yeah, my dad got it in person. Yeah.
So like the
But
Olivia,
yeah, the one time he gets me a Playboy, it's freaking China, the most masculine woman of all time.
like so the Olivia Munn one was not in person. I can't remember. I think whatever social media, like, was it social media? Somehow I got wind of it. She was basically like, if you send it to me with your postage, I'll sign and send it back. I didn't send postage. Fuck out my face, bitch. I'm Dante. She did send it back. No problems at all. So guess what? Olivia Munn paid for my postage, bitch, and signed it and said I was her hero.
She didn't see nothing.
I know there's no titties. She wasn't naked. It doesn't count. So fuck that dude. Actually, he and I got into an argument on another former classmate of ours page about Michael Jackson. Because it was like, everything after Thriller like sucked eggs. I was like, well, if you're comparing it to Thriller, yes. But everything after Thriller is still pretty fucking good. I mean, and I'm like, look, I'm going to be honest. Thriller? Well, no. The song Thriller, I think, was trash. But the album, there's 9 songs. 7 of them went to singles. I think 6 of them went to number 1. And the 2 that didn't go to single were still fucking great songs. It's a great album. But guess what? Bad was still a great album. Dangerous was still a great album. Invincible was underrated.
Honestly, and I was never.
I don't care.
That wasn't my style.
I don't
of
care.
music.
Don't care.
No, but the Michael Jackson,
Don't
Janet
care.
Jackson song, I liked a lot actually.
Yeah. I mean, it was a fun song.
And the video was tight.
Yeah. Well, and that was the thing. Like, look, man. People can say what you want to say about him. Yeah, he touched some kids. But, like, he was an artist.
I liked a few Janet CDs more than him.
Yeah.
I liked the.
I actually like
was it
Janet.
Rhythm Nation. Yeah, Rhythm Nation.
Yeah, the Rhythm Nation album.
That was a good album. She had that one Black Cat song.
Yeah.
That guitar. I think it sounds dated now, but at the time it was tight.
I think it holds up. I mean, that riff was still tight. Like,
That was kind of like, it reminded me of sort of the Ice-T. There Goes the Neighborhood riff. It was like, it's not similar guitar.
still works. I mean, honestly, like, there's a lot of Janet Jackson albums. It's weird because, like, she had kind of a window where she had her Control album. Then she came
That was when
back
she was a
with
little chubby.
Don't hate.
No,
Don't hate.
that's what she would say. She was a little chubby.
I
She
liked
had
it.
Yeah, but then when she came out with the next album,
When she
she's
dropped that
wearing
Rhythm Nation,
the
it was like
belly shirts and every little.
Oh no! That was the Velvet. I think that was Velvet Rope.
What's
Janet.
the song where the breakdown part was like dun 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 dun? Dun.
Yeah.
I like
that was
song.
called If. On
If. I think that might have been my favorite Janet song back in the day
like
because she was hot as hell in the video.
that whole album. Every time she put a video out, I was like, and those videos came on at 6 a.m. on MTV. Perfect timing because I was just waking up, and you know what time it was. And I was like, oh my god, right into the hand and went to work. But it's just funny, like when people like that's the kind of dude. It's weird to go from Janet Jackson back to this dude. But that's the kind of dude that just wants to argue for the sake of arguing. It's like, if you can't fight, stop trying to argue. Because my whole thing is, I might lose that argument. I got pride, motherfucker. I got pride issues. I'll stuff them in a fucking trunk of a car and drive them and leave them at Lake Elkhorn. I won't put it in the lake. I'll leave them there.
If you put it in the lake, you might come back as a mutant. I told you one, not even that many years. I mean, it's probably within 10 years. But I was jogging around the lake, and this mom had her kids swimming in the lake. And I was like, this is the grossest lake.
I see people fishing over there. I'm like, why? Are you just like catch and release, I guess? But
yeah, if you eat those fish,
you gotta
you're
chill.
going to get something.
It's like The Simpsons. You can't fuck around with
We
that.
have a few lakes in Colombia.
Why not like go to Colombia?
But Lake Elkhorn probably the worst of, like, if you were to eat the fish, because I think they stock. They obviously it's not. There's no lakes, I think, in Maryland.
Yeah, there's no like natural lakes.
So they stock.
Some of them were built over black communities.
I like walking around. I walk quite a bit around the wild lake.
Yeah,
I like that house. Those houses there are fucking unique as hell. It's like, where is this? Because Colombia's like all the same, and then you go in this little area, it's like, every house is weird. It's super weird. Like some look like fortresses, some look like mansions.
There's a house for sale over there when we were looking, and so I avoided Colombia because of the property tax. It was just, it was like $1,500, close to $2,000 more than out here. And there's a house right on the water out at Lake Elkhorn, and Sophie and I walked.
The white townhouses?
No. This is like directly, like you can walk out your backyard and you're on the path. Sophie and I went walking, and we looked. We're like, we almost bought this house. She was like, "Really?" I was like, "Yeah." Like, because I liked that it was off the water, but it needed work, and it was also just a property tax. The price for the house itself wasn't hateful at all.
Yeah, 'cause that area is pretty. Those white townhouses, by the way, are enormous. Like, if you look at how long they go from back to front, and some of them have a courtyard in the front to even get to the house, and then the back is overlooking the lake. I saw one that's backing to the water, and it's not in the best of shape, but it was like $900,000.
Fucking ridiculous.
But
this is over at Wild Lake?
Yeah. That's like my dream setup, though, because the balcony is enormous. I mean, you could fit 100 people on your balcony, have a party, like, because it's like a double wide of a townhouse, pretty much. Yeah. And then a lot of them had a screened-in porch, or like underneath that balcony was a screened-in porch. They're definitely tight, and it's weird. It looks nothing like anything in Colombia. Those white townhouses.
No, all of them
they look kind of like the Miami style of architecture.
It's like the Futurama of homes. Like when they were building the homes, they were just like, just do something different. Don't make it brown.
Yeah, so because I literally walk there at least twice a week, because we always go for a walk before we go do our cardio, and that's a convenient walk because it's not too long. Like Centennial takes you freaking way too long,
Centennial
and to drive
is
there
a fucking
is long.
monster.
So that's like an hour and a half of your time on a weekday. That's too much time to go for a walk. Lake Elkhorn's nice, but again, I have to drive there, where it's the Columbia lights make a short distance take forever. Mm-hmm. So that's our lake of choice. But yeah, I have some. I mean, there's one house in particular. I don't know if you've seen it. It's green. It looks like a fortress, like a military base. It's very square.
I think I know which one you're talking about.
And it's strange looking. I would love to see the inside of it.
There's Sarah goes, like, when she goes to walk, she does Wild Lake. Whenever I take Sophie, I do Lake Elkhorn, just because Grandma's house is right there. So we just go across the street afterward and be like, hey, we're here and I'm hungry. What y'all got?
Ice cream sandwiches.
Yeah,
we used to play football out here all the time. Like, the amount of 2-on-2, 3-on-3 football we played, it was either on your side or Leo's side.
Mostly on our side. Like, we did Leo's side in like a pinch.
I loved playing those games, by the way, the little 3-on-3, 2-on-2 football games.
Yeah, like I was telling Sophie about it. I mean, it goes over her head because she was 6 at the time. So trying to explain to her, like, yeah, when I was growing up, I used to play in this neighborhood all the time. There was a little playground. We call it a tot lot up the street. We would go, just kind of sit there because we're delinquents. There's a field up there we play fucking football at. And she's like, oh, really? You play fucking football? No, she didn't say that. But, I would always, like, every time we go there, I always tell her about the neighborhood. It's just like, because when we were growing up, I mean, we were in a unique time where, like, there were kids. Like, there are a lot of kids. I mean, now, and there might be a lot of kids. I don't know. They're not outside.
Those 2-on-2, 3-on-3 football games is what we did when there was nothing else. Like, we couldn't get enough people to play basketball or...
Well, I know there are a couple times I couldn't leave the neighborhood. That was my punishment. Like, I could go outside, but I couldn't leave the neighborhood, and I had to be in by dark.
That's the thing, too. I think we are technically the last generation to be the latchkey kids.
Not completely.
I mean, we're close to the
accurate
end, but like we didn't have cell phones,
so yes,
my
for sure.
Parents. I was told to stay home, but I could just be like, I was taking the trash out because they called the house. It's super easy. Like where you have a cell phone nowadays, you would have no excuse. It's like I knew I had to be home by 5:30, and there was many times I'd be pushing that limit, running home. I would even see my parents sometimes driving by and be like, "Oh shit!"
Did I ever tell you about the story? Like, so my grandfather has this massive porn collection, and I would go watch porn all the time because I was a fucking teenage boy. And I remember I got home from school one day. I go do the business. But what I would do is I would always rewind the tape back to where it was. And then, so there's one time, post-nut clarity, I'm dumb at this point. I'm not even thinking. I left. I go over to Charles's house. And Charles lived across the lake. Over there by, like, the Burger King and everything. I remember I'm sitting there on the couch. And I go, oh, shit. I was like, what? And I just jump up and take off running, like full sprint.
I actually remember playing basketball at Charles and could see my dad driving by that road, by the lake, and been like running home and beating him there. So I've done the same thing.
I ran home, sprinting, and as I'm running, I saw my grandma on Broken Land, or Cradle Rock, Broken Land, whichever, the big road. I'm sprinting. I was like, oh shit! She had the old Honda Civic, red Honda Civic, and I saw it. I picked up the pace. Now I got to run through Mark's neighborhood and all that shit. I got to run down Broken Staff. I got to hope that there are no cars so I can hit that cross just right. Across the street, run in the house. She's pulling up as I run into the house. I run upstairs because I never turned off the VCR. I ran upstairs, hit the power button because I know I rewinded it. That was always the first thing I did. After I get done, I clean up, rewind, and then normally turn off. But I didn't turn off the VCR, and I remember sitting there sitting on the couch. I was like, oh shit. Took off, got home, turned it off. I was like, oh hey, how was your day? I was like, it was great. It was like, all right, I'm going back over to Charles's.
I definitely remember seeing, I think it would be when I was at Charles with you, like playing basketball, like seeing my dad drive by, but knowing he's going to the liquor store, so I got some time. So I just got to run. I'm going to be good as long as I keep my pace up because he's not going straight home. But it was wild. I'd be like, I wonder if he sees me sprinting down. Because that was a pretty long run, but it was doable when you were young.
Oh, yeah.
It's like the Burger King, cross the lake, then, you run through Mark's neighborhood. Man. Then I had to run through your neighborhood, then jump over the creek.
Yeah, I was gonna say, there's a little cut through, though. If you go past DJ's house, there's a little cut through, jump the creek, and then you still had a ways, though, because you weren't, like, directly behind us. You were, like, behind it and off to the right. So you still had a little bit of a hike. So it's like sometimes
we still have one of the most unique situations of how close you were walking wise compared to driving wise.
Yeah,
it was weird,
fucking
and
weird.
No one will understand it, but I could jump over this creek, and he lived pretty close. But if you were to drive, you had to drive all the way around.
I was legitimately a 2-minute walk from your home, but if you drove, that's probably 7 minutes.
Yeah,
and it's just
because if you take the short way, you're gonna have 2 lights to wait.
Yes,
and they're both left turns.
Yep.
And if you drive the other way, that's a good.
That's not even mentioning making the left out of your neighborhood. So you got to hope that there's no traffic. Then making the left into my neighborhood, hoping that there's no traffic. So, like, it was fucking dumb. But yeah, if you went the long way, then it's like you're just driving a big ass U. Yeah, there are no lights, but it's still a long ass drive. So, yeah, fun times. Yeah, we'll go ahead and review this beer. Well, what's the name of this beer, and give me some stats.
So, you know what's funny is a long time ago, not months ago, but I would get 6. Let's see, what would 6? No, yeah, I would get about 6 episodes worth of beers at once. Somehow, one time I forgot that I got that many because I looked at my little cubby. You've seen that shelf I have, and I would put them in there. I was like, oh, I'm out. But I didn't realize I had a whole bottom one. So it's been a long time. And this one might have been the longest one we've held because I barely remember buying it. So this one's called Wookie Jack. It's by Firestone. Oh, it's on the other page. Firestone Walker Brewing Company, which we've had a few by them, which is out of Paso Robles, California. And this is a black IPA. Has big toasty malt flavors with a balanced hop bitterness and a spicy rye. And a different IPA for dark beer fans. It does taste different because a lot of these dark beers have like a little bit of a coffee taste or sweet taste. I don't feel like this was very sweet. Definitely no coffee taste. I actually kind of like this one. I would compare it not exactly to a Guinness. I would prefer this over Guinness. But this is an 8.3.
It's not hateful at all. So I'm not crazy about the taste, but it wasn't as bad as I expected it. It's still not my cup of tea.
Yeah, it's not. I wouldn't choose black IPAs or stouts generally. These darker type beers.
Yeah. I don't like it dark. I like mine a little lighter.
We have one more dark beer today, but we won't. It's just because this is what was left.
I get. Look,
hey man, I brought oranges.
I'm not going to argue because you're the one who
and I
bringing
got
them.
these pineapple cherry
For
ones.
you. You got that for you.
But
if you brought 2 of them, I wouldn't even be hating.
I didn't know it was going to be good.
Well, you should make us both suffer for those, not these beers.
Well, we still have the beer in the fridge. That's the sufferable beer.
No, I'm not fucking touching that. It's still there for a reason. So, again, the percentage checks out. The taste is not for me. I'm sure other people who love this style.
Yeah, I think
this is
dark
great for
beers
them.
will. And this was one of the higher rated beers on the site I get information. So
Good
like
for
a
them.
94, which is like a outstanding
Yeah.
rating.
It's not for me, though. I'm going to give it a 6.6. I'll drink it if you hand it to me. I'm not buying this, though. No,
So I
no,
like-
I'm going to give it a
I
6.8
like-
because of the percentage. Give it a
I
6.8.
was gonna say the 8.3 though, so it's pretty smooth.
Yeah.
I don't like when the dark beers do have like that coffee taste, and this doesn't.
So it doesn't. And I was shocked. So
Yeah, the color and consistency looks like oil. I feel like I want to give it a 7, and I think that's good because that's going to give it a 6.9. So I feel like it's
That's
right
fair.
on that bubble of 8.3. You'll be like, oh, like if it wasn't that 8.3, then no.
if it were anything under 8,
But like I feel like if I'm at a party, someone has this at 8.3, I'm gonna be pretty happy.
yeah, so that's the thing, man.
Like,
There's just
oh,
like
man,
not
this
enough
is pretty
parties,
good.
man. There's like not enough parties. So I'm going. So next Saturday, I'm going to Skullfest. Well, Skullfest has been changed to Skullstice. So it's a Nerd Rage radio event. Bobby will host it, and it's unique because Bobby will have people from just out of nowhere. We've had people from London show up, Canada, Iowa. Yeah, I say Iowa like it's a different country because it is. But we have people popping in just from like all over the place for these events, and it's fun. So usually for Solstice, I show up. I usually show up with no alcohol because it's weird because there's this weird celebrity to it. Like I'll show up and it's like, yo, Dante's here, which is fucking weird to me. It's just weird to hear that when people are excited to see me. That doesn't happen. But what happens then is then people give me beer. And that's what I like. Now, I'm not anticipating seeing any of these beers there. Most people tend to show up with the party beers, like the Miller Lights, Sam Adams, shit like that. I'm probably going to make a stop off on maybe Friday after work. No, I'm not, because I got to go train. I've been doing the Friday night jiu-jitsu. Dude, I love it. It's fucking good. It's fun. I've been getting humbled, and I need that. But I think maybe Saturday morning I might wake up, hit the liquor store, try to find a nice 6-pack of like decently percentage beer. Because the thing is, I'm not going to drink the whole 6-pack. I'm probably going to, I want it to be a number where I could drink 2, possibly 3 throughout, like, maybe a 2-hour window. Because after that, I'm drinking everybody else's shit. Those are the rules. So what I'm going to do is I'll go out. I might consult you, pull some beers from the list, see what I can find. If I can get a 6-pack of it, even better. Show up to Solstice. I think my family's going to come there first with me, which is no fun. But it gets fun when they leave because I'm off the rails. I think one year, so Bobby has the podcast room set up. And, people, it's a party, but, the podcasting is going on. I think there's one of them, I just sat there on the mic the entire day. Like, they're bringing in other people for other episodes that I don't know what they're about. And I just stayed there. There's one guy, Joe, really nice guy. He comes from North Carolina. He brought his wife this time. And she was going to be on the episode. And I don't know what the fuck they were talking about. But I stayed there. And she's a really nice, prim and proper lady. Doesn't curse. And I'm there just fucking dropping every fucking profanity in the book. It's especially my favorite one, cunt. I'm just fucking calling everyone a cunt that day. And I remember the first time I said cunt, you could see like, ooh. Like her butthole puckered. Like she was worried. But it's a fun time. I'm going to take some beers and I'm going to get fucking alcohol poisoning. I think one year I showed up. I drank. They took my keys from me. So I had to sleep on the beanbag in the basement, in the theater room. And this one dude, JD, and his wife, his girlfriend at the time, shows up. I guess they left to go get food. It's like 2 a.m. at this point. And they come back, and I'm sitting on the beanbag, just like sitting there. They came over and fed me chips, like literally fed me chips. It was fun. It was great.
I love the night of drinking, and then you come home with like a pizza or some junk food chips. That shit is crucial.
So there's a little pizza spot up where my goddaughter lives. I'm really only going there to get the pizza.
I saw a chain. It was more so an advertisement of like if you wanted to open your own franchise. But I want to say one was around this area. Dang, I wish I could remember what it was. But it was a pizza place.
Really?
And the pizza looked kind of good. Dang, I wish I could remember what it was.
Okay.
It was, yeah. If it comes to me, I'll say
We'll figure it out. I know Sarah likes mod pizza a lot. I don't think
I've been there. I know it's in the Columbia Mall. I think there's one.
I think it's fine. I don't think it's special. It's just pizza. But Sarah really likes it. And anytime she mentions it, I'm like, could we do anything else? It feels manufactured.
Yes, I don't like. It's funny is we have this one pizza we make at home, and it's like the crust is this low carb crust, but it's so good. It's very thin, and I like thin pizza. So there's very few pizzas we like that you could buy that's better than what we make at home. Because we'll put like pretty good toppings, but
should we do a pizza review episode?
Yeah. I will say though, like I think both Bay and I would agree our homemade pizza we prefer more than most 90% of the places you can buy. We both do prefer, and I know you don't because you've had it a lot. Is Lido's would be our number one.
I enjoy Lido's, but I've had it so much. It's like
Now
now
I don't have it very much.
Now, if you say, hey, you want to go get Lido's, I'm not going to say no, not by any means. But it is one of those things where I'm just like, I would prefer to try something else. I mean, I've had Bollies a lot too, and that's one I also will pass up, despite liking them. But I think we should do a pizza episode. I would say it's going to get tricky though, because how do you do a pizza episode? Because I don't think we should have fucking 3 or 5 pizzas in one night. Well, first off,
if you can get the small, maybe.
So how about we do this?
Because none of those places probably have a slice.
No, not at all. So let's extend this out. We're gonna do. So how many pizzas should we do first? Like, throw a number.
6.
6. So let's go 3 weeks. Each week we do 2 pizzas. We'll figure out the 6. Let's do it. What fucking month? Dude, I thought we were in March.
Yo, time is
Holy shit! I thought we were in March. I was about to say let's do it in April.
So time is flying. By the way, I prefer recording where we're doing the last few weeks, but I have something for Sophie. I keep forgetting to bring it because I knew her birthday was on Monday, and I was like, I'm just expecting Sunday, and then the Friday's throwing me off because I'm working that day, and then I'm like, I'm actually in a scramble because we do cardio.
Yeah.
Like today, literally, I went to the beer store. I went to Walmart. I did my cardio. Got home. I was like, "Oh shit, it's time to go."
Yeah, I have mixed feelings on the Friday recording because it does fuck up my week too.
It makes me feel like I have more of a weekend.
So yeah, I feel like recording on Friday. What I do enjoy about it is I'm not rushed the next couple of days to get this episode cleaned
It's
up.
kind of nice on a Friday, like a stress reliever.
So the original ideal was to do this on Friday. The original ideal to me was to go to happy hour, then come back and record. That was the original ideal to me. But that's problematic because of driving drunk. So I like the idea of doing it on Friday because it does feel kind of like a happy hour. It's like, okay, it's a happy hour podcast. So I don't mind this. We may from time to time have to do a Sunday.
Yeah.
But I like the Fridays. The thing is, once the NFL season starts, that's where it gets real slippery. Because I like being able to talk about the games that we've had so far. Versus if we talk about, the Thursday night game. And then, we got games coming up tomorrow. And then a week later, it just feels flat. So we'll figure it out. We have plenty of time.
Yeah. Is it possible to record everything and then do the NFL somehow online?
So possibly. The audio might get a little wacky, but it's not going to be completely off. The audio might actually be better. I don't know. It is possible, though. What we could do, the thing is, though, our Friday episodes, we have to have a clear cutoff, though.
Yeah, we gotta make it shorter.
Like, we have to have a clear, because right now we're coming up on 90 minutes now, as is.
Yeah, it's wild. It's we didn't even reach any of our topics, really.
Yeah, I'm looking at the board. So we haven't talked about the playoffs yet. We haven't talked about...
that was our main thing.
Dude, that's the main thing every week. And we've only talked about it once over the last
Damn, we're almost
month.
done our beer, too.
Yeah, it's not as bad as I was expecting it, but it's what it is. So they have a niche to them. But yeah, I like us doing the Friday show. It just feels more less stressful, for sure. And I don't have any off the mat stuff on Fridays.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to wake up Saturday for a job now.
Correct. So
you might have to wake up early. I know you have a kid.
I might.
I tend to get up early.
That's she comes in the room and I'm like, yeah, let's just fucking watch cartoons. Leave me the fuck alone. But I might train on Saturday, but even still, that's 11 o'clock.
Yeah,
so.
And that's when Bear normally works Saturday, but not always. Wine in the Woods is this weekend, by the way.
This weekend?
Yeah. It's crazy how it's always
Really?
like, because I had like tons of like those, like memories, because I've been to Y in the Woods. My streak is in jeopardy because I'm going to go. I had plans to go with Bea. I had some friends are going tomorrow, but she works all day. Maybe we go Sunday, but it depends when she gets off.
I got to figure out a guest for Sunday. I'm in a pinch right now.
Y in the Woods, by the way, it's got so big that like part of it's like you taste. When you pay to get in, you can taste as much as you want, but it takes so long to get a taste. You're better off just finding. My strategy is find something over 10% and just buy it.
So
Then go chill. It was fun last year, but it was like that first year. I think they had it since COVID, so it was packed.
I'm wondering with this device here, because I think I could record without the computer, because it takes batteries and it gives you up to 3 hours recording time. The only issue is microphones and headphones, because I don't mind. The whole point of getting this was really for travel, but it just sounds a little better than that one, which sucks because now I'm like, well, I got that. Well, you have the one clip for the headphones, so that's why I haven't actually been doing this. The one thing that goes in here, which is why I haven't been using them. I'm like, oh well, I'll keep using this until. I do have others, I just can't find them, is what it is, because I'm incredibly lazy and I'm not gonna look for shit. But I like the idea of like going places. It's like, okay, well, fuck, let's pull up.
Yeah, I want to take
shit
you to the
record.
Tiki Bar. We went again Sunday.
So
I did learn some things with the Tiki Bar. Very fun place. Great beer, great drinks. Food is not so good. Stick to fries. Stick to wings. You like wings.
is that
Those
'cause I'm
are
black?
good
You
enough.
racist.
But like, I got like a BLT. It was like a BLT with avocado. First off, there was no avocado. But it was one of those fancy ones, like some kind of fancy bread. So that shit was like this.
It seems like the kind of
it
place
was
that
like
probably
this.
shouldn't do that.
Like, it was one of those weird slices of bread that is like that shaped. I was like, all right, I didn't need this. I also don't. You know me. I don't like to actually eat when we're out, like drinking.
Oh.
Maybe some snack like
Yeah.
the chips and
mozzarella
salsa.
sticks.
Chips and salsa
Like
is my
wings.
shit. Wings, chips and salsa. But yeah, I want room for more shots.
Well, yeah. I mean, if I'm drinking beer, I'm not trying
But
to.
yeah, I think
trying to
it's
eat.
not going to be that far for you, and it's a fun place. And then I would like to go to Fells Point again, though.
I mean, my best bet of doing anything is typically Saturdays, and that's mainly because of Sunday. Just usually, what happens is I say to myself, I'm not going to wait to Sunday to edit. And I wait until Sunday to edit.
I think
But-
Bea next week is off all weekend, so if any of those days you want
So-
a day drink.
So next weekend is Memorial Day weekend. Now that's also Solstice.
Shit, I didn't even realize that, so I'm probably off Monday.
I'm certain you're off Monday. We could day drink Monday.
But I'm salary, so if
They'll-
I got something I got to do, I
They'll
gotta
call
do it.
you. They're like, "Hey, that's due." Fuck. I'm off Juneteenth, doggy. So I'm looking forward to it. This is the first time I ever had Juneteenth off. Now, granted, it's only been around for 3 years, but still,
I gotta celebrate.
fucking right. That's Shiki and all. We're gonna go see Little Mermaid.
Whoa, what's the score of this game, by the way?
Yo, it's been back and forth.
Oh
Yo.
fuck!
It's-
Boston's winning.
No, it's been legit back and forth. Like Miami's been up, then Boston's been back up, and now it's just like it's all over the place.
Oh yeah, we got to get to the playoff.
So yeah, let's go ahead and talk about the playoffs because that'll lead into my other topic. So right now, what we got? Denver and LA.
Yeah, so Denver, LA. It's 2-0 Denver. Both games.
As of this recording.
Yeah, both games were close. First game, Denver was up pretty a lot, and Lakers battled back.
At one point,
And-
they were up by 20.
Yeah, so we've been talking on here. My bet was LA versus the Heat all along since playoffs started. So I'm going for the Lakers. I've never cheered for LeBron, by the way, but I like this Lakers team. So watching that game was like, I watched pretty much most of the game. But yeah, it was looking terrible the first half. Lakers made this great comeback. And to be honest, the Lakers didn't play great game one. So I was kind of like, damn, they barely lost and they played bad. So I'm like, and a lot of people felt this way. It's like the Lakers are probably in a good spot because they played pretty bad and barely lost. And they figured something out the second half. But watching that game, and we'll talk about the LeBron Jordan thing. So I'm watching this game, and I know I've actually watched the Lakers play, and why I picked them to go to the finals is when they made those trades, they're a significantly different team than they were. Getting rid of Westbrook was genius. I mean, not genius, but everyone knew he's a liability. But they have a good bench now. They have a good starting lineup. They also play defense now, which they weren't. I think they were actually, since the trade, like the number one defense. I don't think they've lost a home game in quite a while. I think it's like a 9-game win streak. But, you know, they've been the lower seed, so that extends pretty far. They get down by 3. Down by 20. Early in the shot clock, LeBron gets the ball, shoots a 3. I know right away. I was like, you just ruined the fucking game. He has no 3-point shot anymore. But also shooting it that early in the shot clock, the people that do that are the shooters. He's not a shooter anymore. He looks like a bodybuilder shooting threes now. Like, he's too big. He's too strong. He's stiff. His 3-point shot is like a line drive. He was never a great 3-point shooter, but that has diminished. Like, his shot is turning into Russell Westbrook's 3-point shot, where it's just clank, clank.
Love to hear it.
There's no chance. Like, as soon as he shot, I'm like, that's not going in. There's no chance it's going in. Sure enough, he misses it. That was a key part of the game. Like, you're on this momentum swing, and LA is scoring by playing kind of like old school basketball. They're going inside while Denver's shooting all over the place. I mean, they're shooting threes, but they're making them. But LA's strength was mid-range and inside. LeBron shoots this. You know the game's over.
This was game one?
That killed the momentum. Game 2's even worse of LeBron. Close game again. LA's up this time, most of the time. They lose the lead late. I want to say Denver's up about 3-2, something like that. LeBron makes a great steal, runs to the basket, doesn't even hit the rim on a layup. It's like, what the hell? Not too long after that, he's dribbling up and he just gets the ball stolen from him. And I'm just like, and I think Charles Barkley recently was like, the next time someone in the media tells me that LeBron is comparable to Jordan, I'm going to slap him and I'm going to deal with the consequences in court later, because this is ridiculous. Because it's just like, and people are showing clips of comparing, because LeBron also missed like this stupid dunk he tried to show off in the beginning of the game. I think I sent that to you, but that has happened to Jordan before. Not when the game is on the line. So when y'all put that post like Jordan's done the same thing, he didn't lose a game because he missed a show-off dunk.
Well, I think that's the issue with this debate all the time. And I was talking to someone about it. And the issue that I always have with debates like this is you really can't have a true comparison because they're not going to ever play in their primes. But when you look at the body of work, yes, LeBron has been to like the finals, 10 fucking straight years in a row or some bullshit like that. But it's like, okay.
He's lost way too many. 7?
I think he's got 4 titles.
4 titles?
I think.
I thought it was 3 and 7 losses. But...
Well, he won with the Lakers. He won twice with the Heat, and he won with the Cavs.
Regardless, his finals record's bad.
Yeah, it's less than 500 for sure. So you have that there in itself, and the argument then could be, well, it's not all about winning titles. You're right, it's not. But then you start thinking about the big moments, the big
That's
games.
the biggest thing of why, and the younger people that never saw Jordan play. The bigger the moment was, the better Jordan played. The more you pissed off Jordan, the better he played.
Sure.
LeBron doesn't do that.
He gets
it's
pissed
the
off and
opposite.
he doesn't even get pissed off. He cries. He whines.
Yeah, I mean, he had a ridiculous flop in the last game. And then Jokic got him back with a flop. Like, it was kind of funny. Jokic over-exaggerated, and LeBron was kind of laughing. So, like, yo, he just did what you did. Which, by the way, Jokic, for some reason, is not getting any credit. That man had monster games. And it is true. The coach even said after the game, he's like, yo, we won game one. And everyone's talking about how the Lakers are okay because they figured this out because they made it close. And I was like, Jokic I think he dropped like 30, 20, and 15 assists or something. No one talked about it.
I honestly want Denver. I want them to win. I want it to be Denver and Miami personally.
I'm going for the Lakers just because of my bet.
Yeah.
And I have mixed feelings with LeBron because I've always mostly not liked him his whole career. I like this Lakers team, but they're just not hitting like Anthony Davis game 2. I liked at least he stayed aggressive because I've seen him like shy away. And when we get to it, I hate Jason Tatum. I've never liked Jason Tatum.
No, like the Jason Tatum that just.
Oh, he's probably doing something now because
No,
when he's up,
no. There was a missed shot. He went for the rebound. He went out of bounds. So, that's
this game's close.
That's the thing, though. Again, though, too, is like when you start looking at the moments, it's like okay. And I know the NBA is a different beast than what it was back in the 90s and early 2000s and late 80s and whatnot. Yes, the game is completely different. So you play to what your environment is at the moment. But you also think, too, okay, so let's imagine if LeBron's back in the 90s, he'd probably be... I like to think of it in this way. If LeBron played back in the 90s, he's a big dude. I like to think with his ability, he would have done well in that era. But you also think, too, there are a lot of big dudes in that era. Yeah, and Jordan prevented all of them from winning titles.
It would have been more physical for him. So,
and I think he would have been fine with that, though.
A shooting era. It's definitely more favoring offense, the rules now, which a lot of people that played in kind of both eras were like, yeah, Jordan would probably average 50 if he wanted to.
Yeah, I mean, if Jordan's playing in this era.
And keep in mind, Jordan, when he was in his prime, 3-point shots just weren't a thing. Like, it just wasn't the style. Like, the style of basketball is you work your way inside, you drive inside. When he was on the Wizards, he started shooting threes. He actually shot a very high percentage when he wanted to shoot threes. It was like close to 40%.
I think
so. It's like when he learned that threes are now part of the game, and if knowing Jordan how competitive he is, if that's part of the game, he probably would have excelled at it because he did later in his career.
Who before Jordan was like that guy that everyone was like, well, this is the greatest? I mean, Dr. J.
It was really Magic and Larry.
I mean, but there was still kind of his era, though, because he played on, like, I'm talking, like, even, like, right before even them. Because Jordan, he came in 84, 85?
83.
83? Okay, so he's in the thick of it with Larry Bird and Magic Johnson. So I don't count them beforehand, even though in air, that's what they use as a comparison. Well, his name would be mentioned with, Larry Bird and Magic Johnson. Like, yeah, I mean,
because when they do the all-time best, a lot of former NBA players now have LeBron outside of the starting lineup. And
so what was okay?
Magic's like a clear point guard. He was abnormally huge. Kind of like what Luka is
six
now.
Or 6'7"?
Yeah,
at point guard.
And could score.
No.
But
What,
he was a preferred facilitator.
I feel like he was taller than that.
He could hit. I mean,
because
he was the first player.
He played center a couple times.
Yeah, he was the first player to play like every position. I think that was even his rookie year. He played like every position.
Yeah, because Kareem got hurt, and they were like, "Okay, we got to put him in at center," and it was like, "Jesus, like, fuck, relax." They saved some positions for the other players.
Bird's career was a little short because of that back injury, but when he was in his prime, he might not look the prettiest, but that man was unstoppable.
And he had underrated trash talk. People don't respect the trash talk.
It's weird as back then I didn't know he was a trash. Now I hear all these stories. I'm like, damn, Bird was a freaking badass.
Yo, Bird was talking shit big time, and it was hurtful trash talk. It wasn't even like
he talked
he's
a
being
lot
playful.
of trash.
He was fucking talking shit like to hurt feelings.
He was telling people what he was gonna do, and they would do it.
Or what was it when he did the 3-point contest left-handed? It's like, come on, dude.
Well, he came in. He didn't. What the one?
Oh, no.
He didn't take his jacket off.
He didn't take his jacket off.
He came into the room and said, "Which one of y'all are getting second?" And then never took his jacket off and just won.
So what was it? I think the most brutal shit talking was Kevin Garnett to Tim Duncan, because I think Tim Duncan's mom died. He said, "Hey, Happy Mother's Day." It's like, dude, not okay. Not like, I'll say a lot of things, but I don't think that's okay.
Kevin Garnett was kind of an asshole.
Yeah, it was kind of a shitty human. But
he has that great clip. I think you posted it of him trying to read.
I mean, that's why he skipped college.
I think it was equivalent. He was like, equivalent, whatever he said. It was funny. But he had to like follow it with his hand.
Illiterate fuck.
Yeah, I wish I could remember how he said it. It was not the proper.
Yeah,
way
it
to
was
say
nowhere near. I remember hearing it. I was like, I don't even know what he's trying to say. I had to go back and read it. I was like, oh.
It clearly was a new word to him.
But I think just when you compare the players and then you think of them in the eras. I mean, again, if LeBron played back then, I think he would have done fine with the physical play. I think he would have been fine then, but I think Jordan would have been great
player
in this era.
Jordan, in the biggest moments and when he gets mad, plays way better.
Yeah.
So LeBron game 2. So I literally think he's the reason they lost game 1. I mean, who's to say they would come back? But he killed the momentum with that early 3-point shot. That I feel like anyone who's been watching LeBron knows that was going. I think he's not made a fourth quarter 3-pointer at all, and he's not shooting. He hasn't shot 3-pointers well at all this year. And if you look at his shot, it's starting to look like Russell Westbrook, where he's just like no touch. It's just like he looks like a bodybuilder shooting threes now. He's too stiff. He's too strong. There's no touch on the shot. Stick to going inside. Where LeBron's been playing good in these playoffs, though, is like hustling, driving to the basket. He is flopping. He's getting his foul calls, and he's a good passer. Stick to that. If I'm the coach, I'm like, you can't shoot a 3 with under 10 minutes to go in the game. You're not going to make it. There's no chance. Game 2 is a similar situation. This time the Lakers were up. They lose the lead, but it's close. LeBron gets that steal, doesn't even hit the rim on a layup. A few plays later, he gets the ball just stolen from him. I mean, he's choking. Going to the other series real quick, Boston and Miami, freaking Tatum. It's funny that the commentators are like, I don't understand why the coach isn't making the ball go through Tatum. Tatum was 4th in the MVP voting. Have y'all not watched the Celtics when the games are tough like that? Tatum always disappears. I've been saying that. I'm pretty sure I've said it on here several times.
Yes.
Tatum disappears when it's hard. Yo, complete meltdown. So he didn't even shoot. I don't know if he shot the ball the 4th quarter. It appeared like the team's not going to him. No, he was doing that thing where like you're kind of standing so you are guarded so it doesn't come to you. He wasn't trying to get open. And then when he did, he traveled twice in the last 3 minutes. Traveled in a friggin' playoff game. One was hilarious. He was about to shoot the 3-pointer and then got scared and just threw the ball down and then tried to act like, oh, that's not travel. Like, nah, you jumped in the air and just threw the ball down. It's travel. But yeah, Tatum's one of my least favorite players. So I just think he's super soft. But I think the other players in Boston they play hard. And the thing with Miami, why I picked them early on, is they're kind of a playoff team. I mean, they play tough defense.
They're the Gonzaga of the NBA.
They're going to play hard.
Hey, hold on real quick. I got that Kevin Garnett clip.
They got those role players that can make threes.
Hey, here we go. Kind of like naming NFL equivalent for each NBA
Equivalent.
player. Hey, here we go. Kind of like naming NFL equivalent for each NBA
Equivalent.
So good.
I mean, and the way, if you see the clip, his finger is going under word, so he clearly doesn't know that word.
Oh, that's good. That makes me happy.
Yeah. We got a good game here. But yeah, the thing with Miami, so it was a huge difference in game 2 of Jimmy Butler and Tatum. Jimmy Butler was missing shots, but didn't phase him. He still wanted the ball and was still controlling the ball. He brought the ball up. He was heavily involved in the offense. He missed a lot of key shots, actually, but that's the thing is, like, you're the star player.
Yeah.
Still go through you. Tatum was friggin' hiding.
Also, you're the star player. You believe that you are the best player on this team. Keep shooting. Like we played games, and like I'll have a game where I'm missing shots, and I'll have somebody come over like, "Yo, keep shooting, just keep shooting." Like you got to do that, because if you miss your shot, if you miss 6 shots in a row, and you just say, "I'm just not making them today," then why are you fucking on the team? Keep fucking shooting. Well, if suddenly you start fucking dropping, except for Chizzy. There'll be some games he'll shoot like 3-pointer, like 8 of them in a row, and they all clank, and it's like, okay,
that's
stop.
why another reason I like doing the stat sheet, because there's a lot of games. However, it's like, y'all are forgetting he went 0 for 20 to start, but y'all remember the last 2 he made in a row.
It's like, oh, jeez, fucking
I do the percentage, like, he's shooting 15% threes.
It's not a good number. Horrible number. But yeah, with the NBA playoffs right now, I like Miami. I think they're a problem. I feel like the Lakers are still a problem.
I actually don't feel bad about the Lakers because, again, home court advantage is a bigger thing in the NBA than a lot of sports. They barely lost in Denver, and Anthony Davis had a terrible game too. LeBron's been fucking up in the fourth quarter. Overall, the Lakers have not been playing great and barely losing, where I feel like Denver's actually been playing pretty good. Like, they're making game 1, they were making tons of shots.
2-point game.
Making tons of shots. So, the fact that the Lakers, I feel like, weren't playing as good as they can, and in Denver and barely lost. We'll see with the next 2 games. But I wouldn't, and to LeBron's credit, he has won more series probably than anyone, being down 0-2. It's not a lot, true. But because usually you're out, but I think he's won at least 2. But yeah, with Miami and the Celtics, I would say, one is Miami already won one of the home games. That's really your mission. Win 1 on the road. Let's go. Tie. Jimmy Butler. So, again, Jimmy Butler is not phased. Like, he misses. He's still playing hard, though. Boston fucking meltdown again.
Uh-oh. See, that's the thing, though. You got to stay in it.
Because Boston is by far the more talented team. So, they're the numbers 2 seed. Damn. Ooh. Miami's the 8th seed.
Yo. So, NBA history, NBA playoff history, as far as we remember, any 8 seeds in the finals?
No.
I remember Denver beating the Lakers in the first round years ago. Mutombo. I
don't remember them making it to the finals.
But no, I don't think it. Yeah, they went out the next round.
I'm trying to remember because even the play-in game, I think they lost the first one and won the second one. I could be wrong. I can't remember what it was that made me pick them. Because I did pick them early on.
I mean, they're a dangerous team.
I was looking at their team, and I was like, the way they play, I feel like it just wasn't falling for them, and they're capable of more. And the playoffs, they're going to play more serious. So the thing with Miami, too, is not only do they play hard, they're capable of playing defense, but their role players are the ones that are the good 3-point shooters. So Butler's not the best of 3-point shooters, but you see him. He's freaking taking the ball inside. That's what LeBron was his stats were great.
Well, it's like
for the game.
Know your role.
It's because he was driving to the basket and
3-point game,
shooting off like fast breaks going to the basket. LeBron can't shoot threes anymore.
Well, that's the thing, though. It's like, again,
Anthony Davis also was shooting threes. Like,
No.
that's not your strength.
Oh,
Yo, Boston just completely melted down there.
oh my God! Boston was up just a few minutes ago by 9, or no, by 8, and here we are. They're down by 3. There's still time. I mean,
Yeah, there's still a lot of time.
uh,
That was Jimmy, but like I said,
he's gonna keep
not
shooting,
phased
though.
by
Yeah,
it.
you keep playing.
That's the other thing. After LeBron,
Oh, I thought they had to steal. They took
after LeBron missed one of his layups, he didn't run back on defense.
Yeah, that was They. Oh, was it they charge?
Tatum,
Mm-mm.
Tatum traveled twice that game 1 and the last.
Hold on, let's
2
see.
minutes.
Yep.
Tatum.
Yep. Never mind. I was like, "Are you sure?" Yeah, very much. God damn! He tried to run through him.
Jimmy. Jimmy does it. And,
This is good.
and Jimmy's not the most skilled player, but he just
No.
and I do watch him sometimes. It look like he'll take a play off or two, but when it's on the line, he's not. The moment doesn't get too big for him.
No.
He's not phased if he got to take the last shot, and he's not even the best shooter. He's going to do it.
I mean, but it's like so you just got to keep playing. God damn.
Oh, that was a good fake. Luck.
Oh.
Oh.
All right, let's see. Come on. All right.
Miami's playing. We got a minute to go. I got to.
All right. We got to switch. We got to switch it up. All right. Sorry about that. We switched it up for a minute. And what I mean by that is we paused to go watch the game because we were we kept pausing in the middle of talking, and there was a lot of dead air. So we just went to watch the game. Miami.
Heat is up 2-0. The 8th seed won both their games in Boston.
Oh my God.
And they interviewed Jimmy Butler at the end of the game. He's like, y'all are going back to Miami? And he's like, hell yeah.
Yeah.
So, not looking good for Boston. Tatum had another terrible fourth quarter. He had a good overall game. I'm telling you, Miami's role players can shoot. Like, their star players just play hard, good defense. Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo. I like this team. In fact, I told you, I was just telling you, the futures bet of them winning going into this series, Boston was on most, sports channels, all the little advanced analytics had Boston 98% chance of winning this series. They went down after game 1 to something like 80-some%. I don't know. It's 2-0 now. Can't count Boston out. Boston, I think, has a more talented starting lineup. I don't know. The Heat is a playoff team. Which is why, I've been picking them. And I'm tempted now. I'm going to look real quick. What is this futures bet now? So I have $40 to play with. And I might put it on the Heat to win it all.
I mean, it's not a bad move.
Because the odds as of yesterday were 1,300. So you get 13 times your bet.
What am I doing?
Futures. Team props.
It's a great podcast, and we're both on our phones.
Futures. Here we go. Oh, wow. The Heat has gone down to plus 500. And the Lakers are plus 700. Nuggets are minus 115. So you don't even get your money back if you bet on the Nuggets.
The thing is, I don't think the Nuggets are going to do it, though. I'd like to see them do it, but I don't think they are. I don't know.
I mean, they're not a sexy team to watch the way Jokic plays.
Correct.
He just dominates. If you watch him play, he dominates rebounds, but he doesn't even jump. He just literally reaches over the person and takes the ball. It's
Seems
not
fair.
entertaining.
Seems fair.
That's why there's a lot of hate to not hate. It's just a lack of acknowledgement of how great Jokic is, because he just doesn't look great when you watch him. It's just like he's just like, watch him play. I promise you, the ball just kind of bounces to him, and he's just so tall. He just snatches it. He's not boxing anyone out. He's just grabbing it over people. He's just so freaking big. One of the most underrated thing about Jokic is his screens. Is he's just so big. What's his name? Reeves, the white dude from the Lakers. He's having so much problems running around Jokic. Like, he just can't get around him fast enough.
Well,
But he's just a big dude. But I mean, his passing skills are amazing. He's an amazing shooter. He has a great feel for like his little touch shot. But part of the reason he's so good is he's just so tall. And I wonder, you see, like they did the lottery.
yeah.
And the Spurs got number one pick, and there's that unanimous person that they're saying is like the best player since, I don't remember his name, unfortunately.
Yeah, they were saying he's
The best prospect since LeBron.
Yeah.
And the thing with him, he's 7'3" and can dribble like a guard. The thing is, these 7-footers are super injury prone.
Yeah, well, I was just about to say, it's like, yeah, they come in, yeah, they're big news as young guys, but they get hurt because their body is, I mean,
I wish I could have the list in front of me, but the amount of number one picks that are bust, it's 50-50.
let's see.
It's some
you keep
bad
talking.
ones.
Let me see if I can find it.
Andrew Bogut was the number one pick at one point. Ooh. He's not good. Greg Oden,
Yeah,
Kwame Brown.
don't do that.
So because my brother, when they announced it, he's like, "Oh, he's gonna be a beast," and I was like, "I don't think he's gonna be good." And he was thinking I was being a hater. He's like, "Why? Everyone says he's gonna be the best." Like, cause he's freaking 7'3", and those players always freaking get hurt. And he's skinny as hell. He's also, he's dominating the competition right now. But I've also seen some undrafted type players killing him. Like, he's skinny as hell. Will he be good? Yeah, but I mean, it's just like that dude Chet Holmgren from last year. He's that build, and he missed his entire rookie year.
I need number one picks. I don't want 15 biggest NBA draft busts. I want number one picks.
Yeah, I'm telling you, there's so many bad and good. I know the Wizards got Kwame Brown and John Wall. John Wall was an okay pick, but he wasn't number one worthy.
No.
Maybe at that time, I mean, he was like probably unanimous.
Well, that's the thing, though,
thought
too,
of to be the number one.
is hindsight.
Kwame
After the
Brown
fact.
was terrible. The Andrew Bogut one and Greg Oden gets me. Was Aiden the number one? Because he's not number one material.
So I have. It's not necessarily. That's the thing. It's not giving me any info. I just have biggest draft bust in NBA history. These are number one picks. No, Darko was not number one. He was a number two. So never mind. This list is trash too. But Kwame, Greg Odom, yeah, this list isn't number one picks. Joe Smith is kind of a weird one, but
he wasn't worthy of the pick.
Yeah, at the time he was, but he didn't pan out. That's the thing. It's like after
I got a list. Let's start with not too long ago. We'll start with Kwame Brown.
Okay.
So that was 2001. Terrible pick. Next year, it's funny as they go a few years of a row and really good, and then a few years of really bad. So Kwame Brown, terrible. But then Yao Ming, excellent pick. LeBron James, obviously excellent pick. Then Dwight Howard, excellent pick. Andrew Bogut, a number one overall pick. That's wild. And he was drafted by the Bucks.
So I was about to ask, like, where to, because like that was when I started falling off from basketball. So as soon as you start saying
he was on the Warriors, one of the championship teams, but he was also off the team during some of their championship teams. Not a number one pick. Then I remember looking this up the other day. I don't even know who this dude is. Andrea Bargnani. He's some Italian player. I did see, I believe one season he averaged 20 points. Regardless, I guarantee you 90% of people don't know who he is.
I don't know. Who the fuck
Greg
that is.
Oden. He's
Ohio
more
State.
known for the videos of him walking off Ohio State of people like, didn't you used to play basketball? He looks like he's retired, but he's like 25.
Yeah, he's old as fuck. Oh, he looks old as fuck.
Then Derrick Rose. That was a good pick. Blake Griffin was a good pick. John Wall, questionable, number 1, but it was, I mean, not a complete bust. Kyrie Irving, Anthony Davis. So 5 good picks in a row. Then someone named Anthony Bennett by Cleveland Cavaliers. Who the fuck is Anthony Bennett?
Mm-hmm.
Andrew Wiggins the next year. Not number 1. He's a backup.
You know
now.
what? I remember when Cleveland got that pick, that number 1 pick, and people are
They
like,
got back-to-back.
yeah, people are like, oh, it's rigged because they're trying to get Cleveland back to the top without LeBron. And it was like, oh, shut the fuck up. I hate when people say like, oh, sports are rigged. It's like, shut
Yeah,
up.
he didn't last very long in the NBA.
Cocksuckers.
Anthony Bennett. What did he do? Anything?
Not much, obviously.
Yeah, most of his professional career is overseas. So
Nothing wrong with that.
Andrew Wiggins back-to-back with Cleveland. I think he got traded right away. LeBron didn't want him. But he's not number 1 round. Karl Anthony Towns, probably worth.
Yeah,
sort of.
I think it's fine.
Ben
so far.
Simmons at first seemed okay.
At the time.
Yeah. Now he's a head case, complete bust.
Hey. Head case isn't a kind word.
Oh.
He's got mental health issues.
Markel Fultz right after, which he's an above average player right now. But remember, he's the one that went through that weird thing where he had this weird hitch in his shot out of nowhere. Some kind of mental block happened to him.
I don't know.
Shouldn't have been number 1. But yeah, he had this injury, and suddenly it was like he forgot. It was like Charles Barkley's golf swing. That's what happened to his shot for a while. And then he's come back, and now he's like he fills the stat sheet, but he's not like a scorer. He's like good all-around player. DeAndre Ayton right after that. I mean, I think the Suns are probably going to move on from him. Zion Williamson. I mean, if he plays, he's a beast, but he
when he's
barely
in there,
plays.
Yeah.
Anthony Edwards is a good pick. I don't know about number 1. Cade Cunningham for Detroit. No. Not great. Paulo Banchero last year. He was good. Was he the best rookie? I don't know.
Well, now,
I think he won Rookie of the Year, so he's
well, that's the
solid.
thing, though, too. When we look at, like, again, the players that got drafted at the time at number 1, it's like, well, then who was number 2, 3, 4? What came after them? Because, again, when you look at that Detroit draft where they took Darko at number 2, but then they missed because they didn't take Carmelo Anthony or Dwayne Wade. And it's like, because they were a team full of guards. So it's like, you're playing with house money at that point. You just won a title, and you have the number 2 pick in the draft. So it's like you can experiment a little bit, I guess, because you have a strong team. But, when you think about it at the time when someone's making the pick, it's like, does it seem reasonable for them to make that pick at number 1? And what was number 2, 3, or 4? Because, I mean, when you look back at what Jordan went number 3, who was Olajuwon was number 1 that draft. So I mean, Olajuwon that worked out. Sam Bowie was number 2.
Yeah.
Sam Bowie was number 2, and it's like that one did not work out. So then the question becomes, if someone went number 1 and they didn't pan out, well, what panned out after them? And at the time, did that person who panned out after them look like they should have been number 1 instead? I mean, it's a tough debate at times. So I don't know. It's hard to say in the moment, but then after the fact, it's like, oh my God, like Kwame Brown. I feel like Kwame Brown at the time definitely wasn't a number 1 pick, but the Wizards, that was a Jordan. That was the Jordan pick. And
that's when he decided to come back and play.
He's like, I'm going to come back and play with this kid.
I was trying to
He's like,
explain
"Oh,
that to
this
Bay. I was
kid
like,
sucks."
so he was actually the owner of the Wizards. And I think he was watching them and was like, I think I could help them. And I believe they made it to the playoffs the last year he played. And like I said, I think he shot close to 40% three-pointers.
I mean, I don't know. It's all. I think that's the thing with when I say all sports. I think NFL and NBA drafts are the ones that we were really kind of more so referring to. It's like when someone's the number one pick, and it's like, were they worth the number one pick? I mean, NBA, NFL, specifically. And when you look at the NFL, it's like you got, fucking Baker Mayfield going number one. Is like, it seemed like the right move, and he did a lot more for Cleveland at the time than any quarterback had done in years. So it was like, it wasn't the wrong move, but it wasn't the long-term move. When you look at Detroit taking Stafford, I think it panned out for him. It didn't give him a championship. But Stafford, he wasn't a problem. It's just, you have to look at what your team needs. You have to look at what's available. And in some cases, like when the Wizards took Kwame Brown, it's like, maybe you could have done better. I just feel like the high schooler wasn't the move. So, and he was like small. He wasn't like he was like super skinny. So it's like,
he wasn't a tough guy, because I think
no,
I'd say he got bullied, but he didn't take like criticism very well.
Oh well, fuck him. He's out of the league. So real quick, I want to talk about. I had training this week at work. Well, I've been in training for the last 2 or 3 weeks, but I had a specific training for CPR, first aid, and all that shit today. And for my training, they're talking about things that you have to like kind of consider and look out for. If somebody grabs you, like get physical with you. This is one of those moments where I look at the person who's training us, and I'm sure I'm like one of like only 3 dudes at our center, so it's a female dominant profession for sure. There's just like this redhead who started this week, big old titties, so that was like, oh my god, like sheesh. Sorry, I lost my composure there for a minute. People listening, but yeah, I was like, but she sounded like a dude. Like her voice is super deep. I was like, Jesus, relax, Terry. So as they're trying to go over the first aid stuff, or I'm sorry, not the first aid, but like the self-defense stuff, I'm like, and they used me as the example, which was really annoying because I was like, you've got to be, you're insulting me right now. So they're like, if somebody grabs your wrist, this is what you would do. And they're like, basically turn your hand this way, and then they're like, pull your arm in close, like your elbow close to your body, turn your hand this way, and then just pull your arm away. I was like, I'm going to let you know now, that's not going to work. Like, because if I grab your wrist and I want to keep your wrist, you doing that is not going to work. I'm going to hold on to you, and I'm probably going to drag you down. Do better. Then they're like, well, if somebody grabs onto the sleeve of your shirt, this is what you do. They were kind of right with this one a little bit, because this is how we fight the grips and the gi in jiu-jitsu. But it was like, you gotta do more. You can't just think, oh, if I just grab onto their wrist and pull away. Like, no, you got to put your thumb in the meat of their hand, like right there under their thumb, and push away. It's like, then one of the girls was saying something, and she was like, oh, well, we are looking for other trainers. We are hiring for trainers. Just get with me after class. I was like, really? Because I feel like y'all might need some dudes. Because we talked about Jennifer Lopez and enough. That came up during the talk, and I was like, one of the ladies mentioned it. I was like, oh yeah, we just talked about that not too long ago, kind of doing a breakdown of it. I was like, oh really? I was like, yeah, on the podcast, it wasn't good. Like, the movie was really bad. It's not realistic. And the trainer, she's like, well, you got to also think about the time. That was made in what year? I was like 2002. I was like, you have to think about the time though. So I was like, no time. That's just like, this is like a movie that's trying to tell women like, oh, you can stand up and box with a dude, like, and he hits you and you smile at him. Like, no, like, clearly the crowd turned against me because I was the only dude there. But it doesn't matter, because they can fuck all the way off. It just bugs me, because it's like, y'all are the ones that are falling into like, oh, that Jennifer Lopez movie was so good because she was a badass. It's like, it's not realistic. And this training is not realistic. Y'all are fucking dumb. So I am going to actually talk to the lady about like, so what are the steps I need to take to become one of these trainers? Because y'all are going to get yourselves killed.
That J-Lo movies. J-Lo is one of my least favorite. Like, the movie is so bad. I felt like, because of her. And then Bear was watching some movies. She was some kind of assassin. It was kind of funny. She was like running through the streets, chasing them.
So someone mentioned that as well. I can't remember what she called it, but she mentioned that as well. She had like a fucking blade or I don't know, some bullshit. I was like, get the fuck out of it. First off, I'm not fucking taking anyone that looks like her serious as a fucking assassin, which is probably part of the point. But like, come on, grow up.
You see that image of her and Ben? Ben looks so miserable. I was like, then I started thinking, I was like, damn, she's had quite the celebrity list. It's not a huge list, but like some really like top of the line celebrities.
I mean,
P.
this is
Diddy,
her second time with Ben Affleck.
Mark Anthony, like at the time, he's like one of the top. Alex
A-Rod.
Rodriguez, like
Yeah. Then like a backup dancer. She was following Britney's shoes. That's just the thing though. It's like I don't hate J-Lo. I think she's a good looking woman. I think she's a good performer.
that movie though, where she was doing the MMA training, like just the way she did it. I mean, she did it with a grin on her face when she was fighting him, and then she had open hands like that. Like it reminded me of Dawson from Street Fighter.
Yeah,
dude, the long arms. She's just laughing and like, go ahead, hit me.
God damn it, dude! I'm so angry now. Fuck.
She prepared for this. Like, it was
So there's a Halle Berry movie. I think it's called Bruise. Because they were promoting it during UFC fights last year, like during the cards, and she was at the events and everything. I wanted to watch it, but I don't want to watch it because I just feel like it's going to be more bullshit. But I feel like she is a fight fan, though. So maybe, just maybe, it might have a touch of something to it. But and I'm not saying this because I don't think women fighters are good. I think they're fucking great fighters. But I also don't think like these celebrities that are like, I'm a fan, I'm a badass. Yeah, like fuck off. Like I'm a fan too. I also train, but I don't think I'm a badass. I went to class tonight and got fucked up by a 16-year-old girl. It's because she's flexible and I couldn't get past her fucking guard. She didn't choke me or nothing. She did get my back and I fucking threw her off of me. Like I legit fucking threw her across the mat. Because, you know, it was like, no, we're not doing this. You're a child. I'm not getting beat up by a child today. Like those days are over. I'm a grown ass man. But that is also the point that I always make. Because Sarah's friend once said this. Like we're like doing a little bonfire at their house. They're out near woods and shit. And there's some like footsteps or something. Like, you know, you hear like twigs snapping and shit. Probably a deer. And I looked up. I was like, what the fuck is that? Because my back was to the woods. I was like, nah, doggy. Let me turn around. And then Sarah's friend goes, well, if they come to this campfire, if they're coming here for a fight, they picked the wrong campfire. And I was like, okay. Can't nobody here fight but me. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not fighting. I'm grabbing the kids and I'm running to the house. And I know Sarah's friends were like, well, I'm scrappy. It's like, girl, you are 115 pounds soaking wet. That is a fact. Soaking wet. Like she's 115 pounds. I train with a woman who's strong. She's not like fat or, you know, she's like strong. She's like, what, maybe $145, $150 in technique. She's far more technical than me. If we're going by the rules within the parameters of our game, she fucks me up every time. But if I want to fucking kill her, I could. That's a fact.
Oh yeah, man. It's like I mean, one of the things, the memes, like you did, we're going all in. The transgender male, it's just not fair, to be honest.
Well,
Just
like
strength, they could have great technique, but there's a huge advantage of strength that, whether you want to admit it or not, it's there.
So I will say this: there are situations where, again, like if I put you in on the mat with my one teammate Naomi, and you're playing within the parameters, yes, she will beat your ass. But if you say fuck those parameters and you just decide to drop her on her head, her children will be orphaned. You're a dick. You killed a woman.
It was funny. We were play wrestling, me and Bea. She has this natural ability to like cling on you. Like, obviously, we're not trying to hurt each other, but it's like the way she clings on you. I'm like, she gets some great leverage. I'm like, but then every once in a while, I gotta remind her and just pick her up in there, like over my head. You know I can do this, right? But she's great at clinging on. Like she's like, clinging on where I can't push her up because she's so clinged on. I'm like having to push my own body weight. I'm like, she's naturally good at that. Yeah, but it's definitely a little bit of a natural. She actually has a really natural skill for basketball too, because she never technically played too much growing up. And I'm like, hell, you've never played, and like she'll whip most people's ass in that little shooting game. I'm like, where'd this come from?
What was I going to say? Oh, I remember like being younger, like Teresa would always want to wrestle because a lot of times like we're not trying to hurt her because she's a girl. Now she is strong. I'm not going to say she's not strong. Well, at the time, I remember she used to come through and do jiu-jitsu, like not like full blown, but like just kind of some of the basics. I remember grabbing her arm, and she's like really frail, like the mic stand here. That's what it felt like. I was scared. I was like, oh my God, you need to fucking eat or lift weights or something. I think she's doing like CrossFit now or some shit, something like that. No, I'm sorry, high intensity interval training. So she was like, I'm doing HIIT. Just stop saying HIIT. Like you're like this dumb. Don't be one of those guys.
That's the Kenny Powers.
Yeah, I don't want to be the best at
CrossFit. You want to be the best at working out.
But I remember like wrestling, and again, she would always get the upper hand because again, it's a girl, so we're not trying to kill her. And I remember like later on, she would always like run around like, I can beat you in wrestling. I was like, I promise you, if I wanted to win, I would win. And then, like she lunged at me. I was like, okay, like I've got your arm now. Your own arm is choking you. Chill out. Like there's this goofy misconception for women where they genuinely believe because we're nice. And I'm not saying like, there's always the argument, of, the genders versus each other. And it's like, look, I remember my friend Jenny, she called me, her and her husband called me, like on like three-way, whatever the fuck. And they're like, who do you think will win in a race? The fastest man or the fastest woman? And, Trendon, he's like the fastest man will win. I was like, well, there are a lot of factors in here. You think about weight distribution, then you got muscle, from the men. I was like, but here's the truest test. Google the fastest 100-meter dash for men and then for women. Who's got the best score? Who's got the the best time? The dude. There's your answer. Shut the fuck up. Sit down. And I'm not trying to discredit women for what they can do, but again, when it comes to this thing, like, well, women can do the same thing as men can do. Not all things, but also all men can do things that women can do. So, we're meant to do what we can do for our gender because of, we are built that way. I can't give birth. I'm not pushing a baby out of my fucking dick hole.
There's even differences among men with body type.
Yeah.
The people who are super good at marathon runners are smaller. They
frames.
have genetic, that muscle, the slow twitch.
Yeah.
They're made up of mostly that. That's why they don't have any big muscles, but they can freaking go on forever. And then you look at an explosive NFL athlete, why there's more, not to say it's racial, but there's certain positions like cornerback. There are not many white people. And part of that is the fast twitch fiber. Like it's a legit science thing of like, there's more athletes non-white that have that fast twitch.
Yep.
And
you also look at too, when you think about, I remember always hearing like girls talk about like, every so often you see a girl on a football team. But you get girls that are like, oh, I'm good enough. I could play on a football team. No, you can't. Like, well, we have a higher threshold of pain. No, you have a higher threshold of pain built for giving birth. But if you go out there on the football field and get fucking clocked coming across the middle, your threshold for pain goes out the fucking window. Because I'm going to let you know right now, it's happened to me. I was seeing stars. Remember fucking Brian Cole fucking hit me in practice? I saw every star. And I was like, I think, and then I realized my shoulder was dangling. I was like, I think I'm done. Like, now, find me, your average woman taking that same hit and saying, at least I got up and I finished out practice, even though my arm was dangling. And the thing is, it's like, when they pull this whole, well, we have a higher threshold for pain, like, again, your body is built to do this specific thing, give birth. I'm not built for that. So, of course, my threshold for that pain is going to be different. Like, when they hook guys up to the machine to simulate pregnancy or giving birth, it's like, yeah, that's not a fair comparison because, again, our body isn't built for that. Our muscles aren't geared towards that. Whereas if I said, okay, again, using jiu-jitsu as the example, it's kind of a poor example because there are a lot of tough females that play jiu-jitsu, not play, but like do jiu-jitsu. But like if I'm going against a woman, a blue belt woman in a competition, I'm probably going to win. Probably. It gets tricky because I know when I'm training with Naomi, because she's got smaller limbs, like she's like thinner arms, it is a little, she can kind of squirm underneath me and move around a little differently. But again, if I decided, you know what, I think I'm having too much pride, ego's getting the best of me, I'm just going to put my knee right into your chest.
Yeah, man, there's a reason there's different divisions, different weight classes, and different, they separate genders for sport.
Yeah.
But it's wild that was a transgender person in college. They let compete in women's swimming, I believe it was.
Yeah.
And like he wasn't that good in the men's. And
It was
then
like
he set the record.
100 something.
I think he tied with the one girl, and because the girl like came out and made a speech about it. It was like, we tied, but they gave the record to him because it was bigger publicity.
Of course.
And I think was it Dave Chappelle? He had the joke about Bruce Jenner. It was just like he won Woman of the Year, and he only been woman for 1 year.
Yeah,
like
which is
up.
wild. Well, and that's the funny thing. It's like, again, the women who are champion behind the transgender female athletes are the women who don't compete. The women that are against it are the women who compete.
Yeah,
Except for Ashley Evans Smith, who fought Fallon Fox, and she knew Fallon Fox used to be a man, and she fucked Fallon Fox up. She beat the shit out of Fallon Fox just to make a point. But that also goes again to show another thing too is Ashley Evans Smith is far more skilled than Fallon Fox. And I think also when it comes to women's MMA, it gets a little slippery because I think you get some women that are good in the gym, they look good in the gym, like, oh, you're good enough, go ahead and sign them up for a fight. That was my argument with a lot of Ronda Rousey opponents. It's like, oh, she's out there fighting soccer moms. It's like, meanwhile, when she got in there with Holly Holm, who's a fucking lifelong athlete, lifelong boxer, and knocked her through the fucking stars, I was like, oh, okay, that's what it's like to fight a real fighter. And then when she fought Amanda Nunes, same deal. I'm not trying to discredit Ronda Rousey, but she's kind of a bitch too. So, fuck her.
She was in the right place at the right time. She grew the sport. Yeah. There you go. By the way, I got to correct myself. Michael Jordan shooting threes in the Wizards was god horrible. He was like 18%. So I thought he became a better 3-point shooter.
You know what? That's why I don't like the internet. I like the belief that he was shooting 40%.
Yeah.
So I'm about to edit that out.
And they made the playoffs. I didn't see a playoff game for him in the Wizards, so I might have dreamed that.
I was pretty certain they made the playoffs.
I thought so too, but apparently not.
We making shit up. I think I'm gonna make some mozzarella sticks after.
Yeah, we won 6 championships. It pumps up stuff in our head.
Relax. Like we know that's a lie. Let's.
We got our questions, but we got to review this last beer.
Oh,
Negra Modelo.
What the fuck did you call me?
Negra. So by Modelo, out of Mexico, and it's known as the cream of the beer. And it's a Munich Dunkel style beer.
Known as the black of the beer.
It is the most popular dark beer in Mexico. It's a 5.4%. We drank it a long time ago, but we actually crushed it. I think it was pretty good for a dark beer. It was.
Yeah, no, it wasn't hateful.
I think I might prefer it over like Guinness, and I think it was along that style. But yeah, 5.4, and we crushed it pretty quick.
In the party beer category.
Yeah.
I mean,
So I've never had the Negra Modelo.
nor have I.
Better than I was expecting.
So what was my Miller Lite?
6.8.
So
And this is a 5.4%. So
okay, that changes the. I was like, I like Miller Lite more than this, but that percentage. That percentage makes a difference.
it's more on a little bit more on the sweet side for a beer.
No, I'm gonna tie it up. I'm gonna do a 6.8, and it's only because of the percentage. I like Miller Lite more than this as far as taste. This isn't a terrible taste.
Yeah, I mean this might have been one of the we actually crushed it so fast that it's been a while since we drank it.
Yeah, we've been all over. I think we finished it about an hour ago.
I think I'm gonna give it a 7 just because I think I liked it.
Okay.
And that gives it a 6.9 overall though. So I kind of like it didn't make it in 7s.
No, and I think it's right where it belongs. All right, let's go
We
to
got
our
our
questions. We'll come back to our movies next week. A Man Called Otto gets put on hold for another week. And
Yeah, I do wanna
I don't
mention it,
know that I watched
but
any
yeah.
movies. I know I watched movies, but I can't remember. So,
So it looks like we have this or that,
all right, you want
which
to
was
drink
our
to it?
original one. So what do we drink when we don't match?
Correct. Hold on, let me, because the wine spout is like someone has a busted urethra, so I got to be careful on how I pour this wine. This should be all over the place. It looks like a mess. All right. Oi. All right.
I got quite the. Well, we all do. We got quite the collection of beverages on our table.
We always do.
We got pineapple, cherry lime,
It leaked
spiked,
in my lap. You
Wine.
fucking cunt.
Blue Moon, Wood, Wookie Jack, Red Bull. We got orange peels,
All right.
Modelo Negra.
Yeah, this table be looking
Sangria.
wild sometimes. All right. Let's go ahead and get into
All right,
this.
so we haven't done this or that in a while. Playlist
wait,
or
wait,
podcast?
wait, real quick. I don't know if you noticed the chords.
I noticed my mic two's over there. It's fine.
Is that your mic?
My mic doesn't even have a number.
No, take your head off of there. That's your mic.
What do you mean? Take my head off.
The fucking thing. This thing.
Oh.
That's the mic. You've always had that mic. I don't move your microphone. So you used to have the number 2. I just never switched the number off of it. But I got these color coded
It's
cords.
okay if mine's not numbered.
Yeah,
I got 1, 2, and then we just got this one.
white privilege. So I got to get something.
This guy who's not even here got the number 2.
I didn't know it was Friday.
Guess
Brett
it's
might have
number
showed
3.
up, but I guess he's a bitch. So he didn't. I was excited to give him a fucking cord. I had a chair for him to pull up in and everything. I was trying to be cool.
Maybe
about
he's
it.
ready. He's waiting for next week.
He's taking a nap.
All right. Ready? Playlist or podcast? This is kind of tricky.
Oh yeah, it is. If it's Friday, I got to do podcasts because I like listening to Sisters Who Kill. But most days I try to do music.
Depending on the day, my mood's going to change. But I
Mhm.
guess overall these days is probably podcasts more than playlists.
I've been doing more music lately myself, just because my commute has been shorter. I haven't had a lot of time to really dive into a good podcast, so I'm going with music for the moment.
All right, so we got to drink.
Got a drink.
But yeah, depending on the week, it could be the complete opposite.
Mm-hmm.
Asia or Europe?
What's that?
Asia or Europe?
Ooh, that's tricky. Now, what's the criteria? You talk about women?
I don't think it's women. I think just in general. All right, where would you rather go, I guess? Well,
I got quite a few friends in Europe, so I will go there.
I'll say Asia.
It's not looking good for us, Steve.
Or is it? Sometimes I get confused on the drinking games. Of like the penalties to drink, and I'm like, is that a penalty though?
Yeah.
When it's that middle cup that's mixed of 4 different drinks, that's a penalty.
Ugh.
But sometimes like, oh, you got the Joker, you got to take a tequila shot. Oh,
Oh, drats. Not again. This is the 8th time in a row.
now if I'm already hammered, then it does suck. But it's like early night. Like,
Yeah.
So I won or not? Oh, I lost.
Boo-hoo.
Too
poor
much
you.
sleep or little sleep?
Wait, what's that?
Too much sleep or little sleep?
I'm not understanding the question, though.
I guess what you prefer.
Um,
Yeah, I might prefer too much sleep over the little.
I don't
sleep.
like to sleep a lot.
I don't either, but I feel like that's a luxury if that's an option.
Yeah, I mean, I even feel like though when I have the time, I don't sleep that much. So I'm gonna say too little sleep.
All right, so we usually
Oh my god,
we
again?
agree on everything. We're 0 for 3.
This is horrible, but so good.
Ice cream or cake?
I'm gonna go with cake because
I'm gonna go ice cream.
ice cream. I mean, so we went to the ice cream spot around the
Yeah.
corner, and I got a large milkshake. It was a little watery, so it was really just a large milk. But it's like, dude, it was so good. But I love cake.
I like both at the times, but I think overall I would usually prefer ice cream. And I gotta tell you about this ice cream I just got because for years I've known about it, but I've never tried it. But now I'm at the mindset of something that sounds super weird and still sells. I'm like, it must be good, so I'm gonna try it. It's you got to go to one of those Asian markets. It's ube ice cream. Which I don't know if you know what ube is. I guess it's like a yam, which is kind of like a purple potato, I guess. But it's that tastes good on itself. But I used to think this sounded so gross that I never wanted to try it. It's ube ice cream and cheese. But then when I started thinking about it, I was like, I'm thinking cheese back then of like American cheese.
Of course.
But I'm like, well, cheesecake and cheese danishes when they're sweet are freaking bomb. So I was like, I gotta try this out after all these years. I'm curious, like, why is this a thing? That might be my favorite ice cream flavor. There's the little cheese chunks has like a little texture to it, but it is more like along the lines of cheesecake cheese. So pretty darn good.
Noted.
It's purple.
Mm.
Movie date or dinner date?
Oh, tricky again.
Now, if it's a date,
Yeah, I'm gonna go dinner because it's a date. I want to. Well, I mean, it depends. If I'm going out with my wife, like, I mean, we know each other. We've been together for 23 years. I want to talk to her anymore. Let's just go fucking watch a movie.
so I think I prefer a movie date. 'Cause dinner date, I mean, it depends. Like if it's early
If it's a first
on-
date, yeah. If it's early, I'm gonna go dinner because I want to like talk and get to know you, talk about my podcast, see if I can get you to listen, maybe be a guest. You know, shit like that. But if it's later in life, I'm like, fuck this. Just go to the movie. Shut up. Suck my dick. You know, shit like that in
I
the
think
theater.
we agreed.
So, okay. So, I guess.
I said movie,
So, I'm going dinner, though, because I love food.
but see, that's the thing is a date. And I feel like there's you can't eat what you want necessarily.
You
on the
can't.
first at the beginning,
Bullshit.
not later.
Dude, when Sarah and I, our first date, asked her how many racks of ribs I ordered that night. I ordered 4 racks of ribs. I ate 2 there and took 2 home.
All right, tenders or fries? Ooh, that's a tough one
Ooh.
too.
So I've
They
been
go
warming up
together.
to tenders lately, but where are the fries from?
Yeah, I mean, where are the tenders from? Because that makes a big difference too. Popeye's tenders are freaking bomb.
Ooh, maybe I want to go to fucking Royal Farm after
Royal
this.
Farms.
Oh, God.
Damn, because that's a combo that goes together perfectly.
Mm-mm. Fuck. I'm going to go with the old standard fries because I like me a meaty, starchy fry, like a steak fry. I like it.
God damn it, I think I'm going tenders slightly. We got
Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, it's tough.
I'm going to be very happy with either one.
Yeah. I'm not mad at either of them.
Wings or ribs?
Fuck.
See, this one, I'm gonna assume it's the best ribs and wings because
Okay.
in general, I feel like wings I've had come out like a bad
Yeah.
rib's not good. But when you get that rib, you can literally just the bone just pulls right out.
Oh, ho, 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 ho.
Then I'm going ribs.
We're going ribs. Finally, we got one.
Rustic or modern?
Mm-hmm.
There's an appeal about both.
Yeah. I do like me a modern look.
I think I'm going modern.
Yeah, I'm gonna go modern. That minimalist feel to it. It's sleek. It's clean.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with that.
Rustic sometimes be looking like antique hoarding
I mean,
type.
rustic
style.
can be one of those tricky things where it's like, oh, that's rustic. No, that's just dirty.
Yeah, you don't know. Yo, it's someone's dirty house. Like, nah, I'm just going for the rustic look. You know, back in the day when we had horses out front.
Like you still have horses out front. It's like, yeah, okay.
Outback or Texas Roadhouse?
Whew, that's a tricky one for me.
It's tricky, but I do think I know where I'm going.
I'm gonna go Outback.
I'm going Texas Roadhouse.
So my experience there has been fine. Capital F, fine. My Outback experiences have been, I've never had a bad one.
So I will say, in defense of Outback, is I haven't been there in a really, really long time. Where I've been to a Texas Roadhouse maybe once in the last 2 years, and that was a good experience, so that stands out in my mind.
I went.
It's been so long that I do. Outback was when you could throw both of them. I think you could throw the peanuts on the ground.
I don't recall. No, that was Rocky Run.
No, I think it's.
I don't recall.
Well,
ever
I
throwing
think
peanuts.
Texas Roadhouse. I'm pretty sure you can throw.
Yeah,
the
you could
peanuts
do
on the
that at
ground.
Texas Roadhouse.
I thought you could at Outback.
I don't recall that ever. I've never walked on the floor and felt like my life was in danger at Outback. Whereas Texas Roadhouse, every time I take a step, I'm like, this could be it. Like, we had Texas Roadhouse on December 23rd. That's when the power went out. It was that fucking cold. It was so cold the power went out. And
Where is an Outback these
Outback,
days?
over there by Target off 100.
The Long Gate.
Yeah, Longgate. And then Texas Roadhouse is in Columbia. Over there by Apple Ford in
Yep.
Wegmans. So,
Yeah, Outback
But,
did not have peanuts. There were no peanuts or peanut oil in the restaurant.
yeah. People got allergies, bitch. So fucking insensitive. Fuck you. Motherfucker. All right, what's next?
Soft or hard tacos?
Soft.
Soft.
That's no question.
Hard is good, but they make too big of a mess.
Like
And they
hard
break
tacos?
apart. One bite could explode your taco.
Hard tacos are kind of a novelty thing for me. Like, I don't want them all the time, but I like to have one every so often.
And I remember being a kid when soft tacos started becoming a thing. Like not liking the idea. Like, no, I'm a hard taco guy. But then when you realize, oh, you can fold it up a little better.
I remember my grandparents. We do tacos every Friday night, right? And we would always do hard shell tacos. My grandfather would make the shells himself. You know, he'd get the shells and he'd put them in the oil and everything. He put in work.
Damn.
Oh no, he used to make
I
his.
just had the little kits where you put them in the oven, and my mom, they came out black. It's fine.
This was, they came out burnt. It's okay, but it's fine because she meant well. Dude, your mom has such a big
She
heart.
was busy.
Like she meant well.
But yeah, the crunchy tacos sometimes you literally take one bite, that whole thing could explode.
So my grandparents, I think I maybe asked for soft shell tacos once, and it changed my life, and that became the thing every week.
I love soft shell tacos.
And when they would make the soft shell tacos for me, they were huge. They were fucking monster. I would get 3 of them. They were fucking gigantic tacos. Do you think I'd have a fucking weight problem now? As much as my grandparents fed me as a kid. But, hey, they love me.
Oh, there's a good one for you. But I think I know what you're going to say.
What's that?
Iron Man or Captain America?
Tricky. It's very tricky. Like, I like Captain America in the sense of, like, he used steroids. And I think that shit's cool. I like Iron Man because he's rich as fuck, and he didn't give a good goddamn. And the movie, I didn't give a fuck about that movie, and they're like, Robert Downey Jr. is gonna play. I was like, a word, I like him, so I went to see it. So I'm gonna go with Iron Man.
I'm gonna go Iron Man.
There we go, another one.
Oh, this one's weird. Toast or eggs?
What? They're not even in the same category, other than breakfast.
I mean, if it's just toast, I like toast and some stuff on my toast.
So I mean, can I get some butter or jelly? I love me some toast.
Some buttered toast is actually one of the underrated things.
It
in the
is. There's some nights that's all I have for dinner.
world. Yeah, butter and toast is freaking
It's
bomb.
fucking amazing, man.
Then eggs, though, you can do so many different things with.
So you make an egg sandwich. I love me
But,
some egg
and then
sandwiches.
lately, one of
Eggs
my
on
favorite
toast.
things of all time, and we've been doing it a lot lately, is the BLT, and that involves toast.
I
The
mean,
toast makes it a little bit better.
So,
But I think I would choose eggs just because
so yeah,
that's a tough one.
Yeah, it's tough because first off, they don't belong
I don't
together.
know. So part of the reason I choose eggs though is because it has protein, and because I lift so much, that's always in my mind. So I'm gonna try to actually eliminate that and be honest. If it's just for what I want to eat taste wise, I'm gonna choose toast and butter. To be honest,
Yes,
Over
because that
eggs.
shit is so golden, and motherfuckers don't like. Motherfuckers try to act like that's not a good fucking thing to eat. They try to act like, oh, that's
I
not
would
delicious.
be really
It is yummy.
much. Yeah, now that I'm gonna rethink it, and I would be way more happy if toast and butter.
Yeah, son. Yeah, I'm going with that too. There we go.
Movie at home or movie at the theater?
So I'm typically a movie at home guy, but with the theater around the corner that's really cheap and nobody's ever there, I've been doing the theater lately. So ideally, though, at home.
So I was a theater guy until Arundel Mills has just become. It looks like a trash can on the inside, and the food has gone way downhill. They used to have some bomb chicken tenders and fries. That shit's straight garbage now. So I would say home now,
All right, we'll take it.
and that's our 13.
All right, so we've been carrying this on longer. Like, this is an episode that I barely had anything on the board. We actually talked for a long time. We had quite a bit to go over. I don't know what we went over. I don't ever listen to the episodes, so I don't know. So when I do the little write-ups, I'm just going off memory, and sometimes I be thinking about 3 episodes previously, so the shit is way off.
I think one recently when I was like, so I read your write up and I trust yours, and I was like, I look back at my beer
I
notes.
don't.
I was like, damn, we did this whole fast food draft and we didn't even mention that was like a big part of the episode. We did a draft and then we went. No, first we did rankings, then we ended up doing a draft of the fast food.
So
But yeah, I hope you guys listen. But yeah, it's weird if we listen to ourselves because we're here. We already
yeah,
saw
that's
We
why
saw it
I
live.
don't listen.
But also, I'm like, when I hear my own voice, I'm like, ugh.
So if we did it remote, I would listen because I have to edit and make sure all the sound is fine. When we do it here in person, I don't listen because we're here.
I feel like it's better a little bit if you're on the show.
Well,
Maybe you become more self-conscious if you're listening.
I think, well, like whenever I have try to get guests for off the mats, I always want if I can get someone local, I want them like in person. It just feels more genuine. I've had guests to do it remote and they don't put the video up, and that's a little awkward to me because we just talking about this in training. Communication, a big part of communication is looking at people's body language and mannerisms and things like that. So when I get people like this one chick, I can't remember her show, The Fight Space. I was a guest on her show. She was a guest on my show, and she didn't have the camera on, and it was just really uncomfortable. I was like, this is like, and when I went back to edit, I cleaned it up so it sounded like it was a very cohesive conversation. But if you heard the original, which the original audio is available on YouTube, it's just unlisted. So I'd have to give you the link. But like if you listen to that audio, it is very choppy. It's like she'll say something and then she pauses. Because on her show she does that a lot so she can clean it up. So she was doing it here. And it was weird because to me it's like, and then she'll pick up and say something else. And it's like, no, you can't do that. Just fucking talk natural, bitch. And if the video is on, you can at least kind of get a feel for that, like eye contact and shit. It is weird, but if I can record in person, I prefer. But if people are like, if your only option is remote, we can make it work. But in person just feels better because it's like, look, we're having a conversation. We're having fucking a good time. Like, oh, you want to drink some wine? Let's rock, son. Oh, you want to take some shots? Let's do it. I mean, one dude on Off the Mats, he was drinking whiskey, so I fucking drank some wine. We had a good fucking time too. When I record with Manuel, that's one of the few people I can record with remotely that it feels like it's in person because it is like we're just going. And I rarely edit those episodes because we're just having a good time. Well, until we get to like the later part, then I just start saying shit.
I did notice you took the whiskey off the table, and I probably enjoyed the whiskey too much last week.
Yeah, I'm going to let you know. I hid the whiskey. So because you had a designated driver, that
was why.
Like you enjoyed the whiskey too much, you started getting belligerent, and I was like, okay. Like I think I threatened you again. Like not. It's funny because when I threaten you, your response to it is like, oh, like you just veer off. It's like, okay, like at least I'm pretty sure you heard me. Like you said something. I was like, I can kill you. Oh, because you kept telling me, go ahead, have a shot. I was like, I don't want another shot. I was like, that sounds like something that someone who's scared would take. Or I could kill you. And he was like, okay. And then like you drifted off to something else. I was like, that was an easy redirect. I guess maybe I didn't have to say that. Maybe I could have just said, I don't want it. And then you were like, okay. Like, I really need to work on my escalation of things because I don't think I should be threatening people, like my family. And my wife says, I was like, I can push you down these stairs. It got a little scary. And then Sarah was like, or, here's the thing, you sleep heavy. I was like, fuck. She's right, because I be taking Benadryl, like I be popping Benadryl like the Mikey likes, dog. I'm like, I took some Benadryl last night. Fell asleep. I was hoping I wake up to Sarah jerking me off again.
Oh, that sounds sad. It's like because you've talked about it.
Yeah, I know it was fucking great, and I've been trying ever since. Like I try to lean towards her when we're sleeping. Like sometimes I take her hand, put it in my pants. I'm like, come on, it doesn't work.
Yeah, I knew when I got home. So because I've been hitting the gym hard, like weights and doing this intermittent fasting. But when we went home, I was like, and I've been eating good. Like maybe like a little, like I had the little ice cream or chips sometimes.
Well, moderation though.
No,
you're not eating like
no
a
fast
gallon.
food. But last week, I was driving home. Probably wanted to hit the McDonald's. So I ate a Big Mac. And I was just like, when I woke up in the morning, I was like, oh, I know I was tipsy because I have not been anywhere near a Big Mac. That Big Mac was great, though. I remember, I still remember. It stands out in my mind. I was standing on the counter. I just sit down. I was on the counter eating my Big Mac.
Hey, have you ever asked them to put the quarter pounder patties on your Big Mac?
No, but that would be better.
I think I'm going to next time I get one. I'm not going to do it tonight because
do they still have the double quarter? I think they do, right?
Yes, they do. They do.
I don't know that I've gotten the double quarter pounder. I just get the normal.
I've never gotten a double one because I feel like it's a little much for me. But the quarter pounder, sometimes it's just right. But I think next time I get a Big Mac, I'm going to ask for the quarter pounder patties. Because they'll honor it. But I think that might be much.
You know what I've got into that I never even knew about? It's kind of gross, probably. Canned chicken.
Like tuna?
Yeah.
Sarah does that a lot.
I didn't know that shit even existed, really. I just never had it. Then I was like, I tried it out and it was like, it's a little on the salty side, but it's super convenient.
You get low sodium.
And
though.
instead of, it just has a salty taste because it's canned or whatever. But it's already made. I don't like when I lift protein shakes. Protein shakes make me feel like shit afterwards.
Yeah, you get bloated.
Yeah, bloated, gassy. Just I don't feel good. I don't like the taste majority of the time. Kind of hard to drink it all. First few sips could be good. Then you're like,
that's what she said.
So I did make the can of chicken and light Miracle Whip and some pickles and just make a chicken salad. And, that shit is banging. And that's what I eat now. It's a protein shake, and calorie wise, it's on par because there's no fat, there's no carbs in the chicken. It's about 40 grams of protein in a can of chicken, 39, I think. The pickles, the relish just adds a little texture to it, and then the light Miracle Whip's not too bad. I mean, it adds some fat, but for me, when I'm cutting weight, I want to avoid the carbs. I don't care about the fat or the protein. I'm all for fat and protein. But yeah, it's a good meal, and it's super fast, super convenient. No cooking. You open that can, it's good to go. And it's actually pretty good, but it's got a different taste than regular chicken, but it's almost like good in a way. It is like tuna almost.
So I've never had it. Sarah makes it a lot. I tend to just stick to the tuna, but
I bet it tastes quite similar.
actually, I'm very hungry. We had spaghetti tonight, and it didn't do the job. So now I'm pissed. We don't have like real food in the house, so I'm definitely
That's what I'm wondering when I get home. I think I'm gonna have to do the can of chicken. If I requested, if someone wasn't so tired, there maybe make something. But I have a feeling I'm gonna go home. There's not gonna be anything.
Yeah, they tend to get that way. They're like mogwais
Like, you're not
after
here, I'm not
midnight.
making you
It's like the gremlins. It's like after midnight, they're like, like damn. So I get it.
I
Let's
do remember getting home last week. By the way, it was like, you seem like you had fun. And it's like at 1 a.m. Nah,
So
it's just we had to record. Just talk.
I get annoyed when my wife does that though. I don't know why. It's like I get annoyed when she tries to predict my moves. Like, so what? You should be home about 7. Like, maybe I don't know. No, I'm just trying to figure out like when to make dinner. Well, dinner should have been made hours ago.
Yeah, that's the trick.
Like, I hate that shit. Like if I'm going to
The
jujitsu,
sort of passive aggressive.
yeah, it's like don't do that. Just you're better off just going to buy me an action figure and shut the fuck up. We should wrap up on that note.
We got that out.
Nah,
Producer edit.
it's good. We're gonna keep it in. She won't listen to this podcast.
She's missing out on a lot.
She refuses to listen to this podcast. She was like, absolutely not. I was like, I never asked her to listen to it, but she was just like, yeah, I'm not going to. I was like, okay, that's fine. Like, she listens to like smart shit. We don't talk about smart shit. We talk about smart shit on our own level. But she listens to like archaeologists and shit. Like, I don't fucking know. Like, shit that's dumb. Shit that I'm not gonna listen to. I listen to Neil deGrasse Tyson sometimes, so we share that in common. But there's this fucking nerdy science chick on fucking TikTok. I can't get enough of it. She's not like hot or anything, but it's just like when she starts talking time travel and space, I am glued to the screen. And now I have TikTok on my TV now, and I just put it on her and just let it run through the videos. It is a treat, dude. It's so fucking cool. So yeah, let's get the fuck out of here. All right. As always, bitches, thank you. We love you. We appreciate your support. And if you look, the last few episodes have been like 3 hours or close to 3 hours. We're at 250 right now. So if you're this far, thank you. We do appreciate you. If you have any questions, concerns, criticisms, always feel free to reach out. You can find me at bjj.wiki on Instagram. Steve is at thor.bentley on Instagram. Collectively, you can find us at the Colompton Beer Club on Instagram. Shoot us some suggestions. Fuck, if you want to sponsor us and give us some beer. We like free beer. Now, just keep this in mind. If you give us free beer and it's not good, I'm not going to give you a fucking high score. But if it's good, I will. But we still like free beer.
Send us an 8% or above.
Yeah. You send us an 8%, you're at least getting into the 7s. So
More than likely.
yeah. I mean, it's rare that you're 8% or you don't get into the 7s. I mean, this one joint earlier, what I give it, like a 6.8? So, I mean...
Yeah, 6.8.
Close enough.
Oh, yeah. It's kind of funny. We're like, if it's 8%, we always get a 7, except for today.
I mean, fuck this beer. But either way, you can reach us. We're nice guys. We're friendly. I don't think, what else do I ever say when we close out? I get all my podcasts mixed up. I forgot how to close out the horror podcast yesterday, and I just said thanks and like turned it off.
Good night.
So I don't know, but otherwise, thanks, motherfuckers. I love you. Steve loves you. Also, leave us some reviews. You motherfuckers ain't doing reviews. Like, go do some reviews. Go tell your fucking mama about us. Tell your mom to listen. Tell a friend to tell a friend. And like,
Happy Mother's Day.
yeah, happy mother. Like, I think Father's Day is coming up to you.
Yeah.
So happy not pull out day. And yeah, tell a friend to tell a friend, and yeah, shoot us a message. Talk to us, we talk back. I stole that from Sisters Who Kill. I like it. Talk to us, we talk back.
Oh yeah.
So what's up now? Don't listen to them. Listen to us, motherfuckers. Otherwise, Steve.
Good soup.
Bye, bitch.
Damn, that shit was dope.